This is Monty in the Morning, the show Phoenix Magazine readers voted #1 talk radio show in Arizona.
#1 during your morning commute.
#1 whenever news breaks during your day.
And #1 whenever and wherever you want to talk sports.
Now it's time for Monty in the Morning.
Hey, yo, man, how the heck are you? Happy Tuesday, the very, very last day of January, and it's cold out. Good morning, Salt Lake City, Utah. If you're listening somewhere warmer, I'm jealous. A big show for you, as always, presented by The Advocates. TheAdvocates.com, the best injury attorneys in the business. TheAdvocates.com. Make sure you go chat with an attorney live online 24/7 at TheAdvocates.com, where you never reach into your pocket. You don't pay The Advocates until they win your case. TheAdvocates.com. What's going on with the Utah Jazz? Again, I hate to say I told you so, Jake. Actually, I don't hate saying I told you so.
Yeah, we all
I actually
know.
quite enjoy telling you I told you so.
You know, as Tanner the Soaker would say, quote, "Here we go."
That's exactly right. Here we go. 1 hour from right now, we will deliver the most fresh off the I don't know, the smoker, fresh out of the oven.
Yeah.
We have the latest details on the Dallas Mavericks and the Utah Jazz. That's coming up at 7 o'clock, 58 minutes from right now. Stick around for that. But, of course, we kick off the show with breaking news that we had first on Twitter yesterday, and that is that the Pac-12 is divided. You know, they were having their meetings in Tempe, Arizona yesterday, where it is not 4 degrees like it was this morning here in Salt Lake. No, friends. But you know that the Pac-12 had their meetings, and there is a significant divide amongst Pac-12 membership on what to do with their TV deal. And the big problem here is you have members who want the conference to survive, who are all in, long-term viability, let's expand. And then you have this group of 4 schools that we told you yesterday include Washington, Oregon, and the Arizona schools that do not want to expand, that do not see streaming as a viable option for Tier 1 rights. In fact, that is the dividing line in the conference. Sources tell us that Oregon and Washington and the Arizona schools will not ratify a TV deal, which is to say they will not sign a grant of rights if a streaming partner, in this case Amazon, gets all of the best games, and the only place to watch the biggest games in the Pac-10 will be on Amazon. Those 4 schools will not ratify that deal. And Jake, I think what this is a significant divide. And frankly, I don't know how the Pac-10, Pac-12, whatever you want to call them now, I don't know how the remaining 10 schools in the conference overcome it.
Yeah, I mean, there's not a clear path to overcoming, this issue, because the issue is not just financial. The issue is not just, we want to make $3 and you're telling us we're only going to make $1. That's not the issue here. The issue, very clearly is philosophical, meaning that, some of these schools don't believe that streaming is the best option for a Tier 1 rights package, meaning, hey, all of our stuff is going to be only on Amazon. We're not going to be on traditional TV, DirecTV, whatever your provider is, we're not going to be on that. We're only going to be on Amazon. And I think, some of these schools have real issue with that. And I can't say necessarily that I blame them for that. I would have some hesitation. I mean, as we've talked about at length on this show, on this topic, I think that Amazon right now is trying to push its way into live, streaming sporting events. That's what they're trying to do. The trouble is that it's a process to get there for the consumer, and that's always been the fight. So when you look at that and then you compound it with, hey, how many people actually have Prime accounts? How many people would actually think to go to Amazon Prime Video to watch a live sporting event? Like, there's a lot of questions here. It's not as simple as just like, oh, well, hey, this is going to cost us a little more. Should we do it or not? It's not that simple. And that's why I say this conversation we've been having about, Washington, Oregon, like hell, like even Utah, I'd love to throw into this, even though Mark Harlan says they're not going anywhere. these major schools that are left after the SC UCLA departure, I don't know how you stay. I don't know what that looks like, because you have the major TV providers, the networks saying, like ESPN, Fox, like the major players we all know and love, saying that they're not particularly interested in paying tier 1 costs. So the point is, hey, if we can't agree on Amazon and ESPN and Fox aren't willing to pay us what we want to be paid, where does that leave us? That's the issue here. That's the hurdle that I don't think George Kliavkoff has reconciled in his mind. I don't think he's put enough weight into how heavy this issue is for the conference.
Yeah, I think this divide in the conference is pretty significant. And I think when you look at who we're talking about, you're looking at, I think 3 of the most powerful schools in the remaining 10 with Oregon, Washington, and Arizona State. And I think when you look at Arizona and Arizona State are going to do the same thing. Washington and Washington State are going to do the same thing. Oregon and Oregon State are going to do the same thing. I think it's really fascinating to understand the power structure. And I think right now, it was pointed out yesterday, I thought was a really good point. Oregon doesn't currently have leadership in their institution. They are going through a leadership change. And as far as athletics go, I still maintain that Phil Knight is the athletic director, the CEO, the president, the god of gods at Oregon. But when it comes to grant of rights and making these deals, I don't know that Phil Knight has that much sway. I think when it comes to changing conferences and negotiating back channels, I think he has a tremendous amount of sway. But from what I was told yesterday, you're looking at a situation where you cannot get a grant of rights done with Amazon. And I think that's a huge problem, because the argument comes back to something that we've talked on this show about multiple times. Is a streaming deal for your best games, your what's called tier 1 rights, is a streaming deal for your biggest games really viable, especially when you don't have an institution south of Palo Alto? When you look at the makeup of the Bay Area, you start to understand that Cal and Stanford are the 2 most southern enclaves of this conference right now. And I think the Pac-12 is in a really precarious situation because they don't want to expand until they have a TV deal. But their TV partners, as it was explained to us yesterday, the deal that's on the table for the Pac-12 right now is $250 million a year. That's $25 million per school per year on average. But the bigger deal is, where's the balance of power in this conference? Are you really going to give every school the exact same amount of money? Well, that doesn't make a lot of sense, because Oregon and Washington have already said in a new deal, we want a larger slice of the pie or we're going to leave. I mean, it is that simple. And if you only have a small pie, which I know it sounds crazy, $250 million for 10 schools on average, that's not a lot. That's $25 million. Look at when you're a quarter of the income on your distribution deal that the Big Ten schools are at. Like, that's insanity when you're talking about merely trying to survive. So what you find out is this is a divided conference, and I think there are a pretty significant chunk of members in the Pac-10 right now that want out. I think that's the only conclusion you can draw here, is this conference is trying to find a way to stay together. And George Kliavkoff is not the guy pulling the strings, in my opinion. I think the presidents and the athletic directors will control the future of this conference. George Kliavkoff does not have a united group of 10. He's got a very divided group of 10. And if in fact it is, our sources are right, and I have no reason to believe that they're not. If in fact it is $25 million per school, and by the way, that's a 7-year grant of rights. Is Oregon signing a 7-year grant of rights for $25 million a year? Man, I can't see them doing that.
No, hell no. And I don't know. This is why I say, I mean, you go back to, yeah, exactly. This is why. Like, you go back to all this nonsense, right? And I know we always bring it up when we talk about the Pac-12, but this is why it was such an issue when you had the fight that George Kliavkoff put up about UCLA leaving and following SC.
Yeah.
And like, you shouldn't, honest to God, you should not have put up a fight with that Instead, what you should have done is you should have tried to turn that into a positive and united the conference. That's what you should have done, because now you're looking at this power struggle. And I don't care if we're talking about, the Pac-10, Pac-12, whatever. I don't care if we're talking about a football conference,
right,
or we're talking about, an office space, right? A team in an office doing something. If you have a power struggle, if there's a power divide, and that power divide is based in philosophical differences, you're going to have a real tough time moving forward on a united front. And by the way, you're going to have an even tougher time moving forward when the grass is clearly greener on the other side of the fence. Like, this isn't even a discussion. The grass is clearly greener on the Big Ten side of the fence, with all due respect to, George Kliavkoff. So that's why I say your point about Oregon wanting a bigger slice of the pie. Well, of course, because Oregon pulls more. Oregon's actually been, to like a playoff, a major bowl game. Like, they've done some things that schools like, Oregon State or Stanford or, whatever school you want to point to haven't been able to do yet. And frankly, it's incredible to me that a school like Arizona State, after it's just recently moved on from the Herm Edwards debacle, already has power at the table. Like, that's incredible to me. But it kind of paints this picture of, hey, this is where the conference is at, because SC is gone, because UCLA is gone. So that's why I say, when I look at the Pac-10 now as it's currently constructed, this is very different than what the Big 12 went through and is going through with Oklahoma and Texas, right? And you see the differences. You see the fact that the Big 12 has already got a new TV deal, and they're already pushing forward, and they've added schools. And I'm not just talking about BYU, right? This really has nothing to do with BYU. It's more of a philosophical difference in leadership.
That's right.
Your Mark gets it. And that's why I'm saying, like Kevin Warren, before he left, he understood, hey, I have to do this. I got to get this, TV deal done. I got to get the Big Ten after dark, deal done before I leave.
Well, and I think that's also playing a big part of this, that Peacock and NBC have essentially Big Ten after dark, and they're going to leverage UCLA and USC to deliver that product. And obviously, I mean, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out that late window now belongs to NBC. Yeah. That late window no longer belongs to Pac-12 after dark. By the way, I would remind you that the first people who found out about this story yesterday were all of our members on the channel. I would encourage you to click the link we just put in the chat, or click the join button on your phone right now. For $9.99 a month, you always get the details first as members of the program. We put it first. I did a video yesterday in our Instagram group, the Monty membership Instagram group yesterday, put that video in there telling you that there was divide amongst Pac-10 members. Anytime there's a breaking Jazz story, anytime we have details on Jazz trade talk, we always give it to our members first. Make sure you click the join button. Appreciate everybody. We're up to, 74 members now.
Yeah. Yep.
On the channel. And again, a lot of people ask us, well, what if I don't like it? You can cancel anytime. It is, simply put, $9.99 a month. You get an exclusive video every day, and that might be merch drops, which, by the way, our merch is coming this week. It should be good. We are waiting for, we're going to use Amazon drop shipping for all of our merchandise. So we are waiting for approval. They say it takes some time, but that sometime should be today. Our great graphic designer, Amber, delivered excellent graphics. You guys approved them last week on the show. So we should have a merch drop for you this week, but members are going to get that a full week ahead of time, and they get to kind of pick their own merch that they want. And by the way, if you're a member, we also will offer you pickup service on that merchandise as well. So I'm telling you, it pays to be a member. You get the information first. You get the contest first. You get the prizes first. You get the merch first.
Yeah.
And I think you get access to a great community. Our Instagram members only chat room has been fabulous. Click the link, become a member, join the Monty Show. All right. So again, if you're just tuning in this morning, I see a bunch of people just hopping on. We are talking about the latest details on this Pac-12 story from yesterday. And again, just to reset that, There is a divide amongst Pac-10 members, the remaining 10 members, about what to do with their distribution deal. We are told yesterday by TV industry sources that the Pac-10 has a deal on the table with ESPN and Amazon that is $25 million a year per school for 7 years. So it's $250 million for 7 years. And I think that is just an unworkable, untenable, unsustainable number if you are a Pac-10 member. But
with all due respect,
again, we were also told yesterday that the real issue is Southern California, anything south of the Bay Area, is a huge hole revenue-wise when it comes to selling a new TV deal, and that the Pac-10 continues to be in this situation where, do we expand first, do we TV deal first? Because they have a TV deal for this coming season. We're talking about the 2024 season. So what should the Pac-10 do? If I'm the Pac-10, I do not sign a TV deal now. I do everything that I can do to get San Diego State into the conference. I do everything that I can do to get Fresno State into the conference. I do everything I can do to get SMU into the conference. And I find one more school, Colorado State or Boise State, seems to make a lot of sense as far as the footprint goes. But hey, I think you have a lot of options, frankly. I go and get San Diego State, SMU, Fresno State, and I think Colorado State or Boise State. Boise's building beautiful facilities. I think they are in the footprint. Geographically, they make a lot of sense. I've heard their name consistently with the Pac-10. That's where I would go. I would not just add 2 schools to react to USC and UCLA leaving. I was told that they would like to do a larger expansion, but I think there's some hesitation there. Because if they expand, you are making your TV and those expansion partners promises that right now I just don't think the Pac-10 can keep. Because I don't think they can guarantee, no matter who they add, that Oregon and Washington are staying. The issue is Oregon and Washington haven't left yet. And that tells me that they haven't gotten a concrete offer from the Big Ten. And now with Kevin Warren leaving the Big Ten, and we told you this when that news came out, Kevin Warren is going to be the new president of the Chicago Bears. That was a lifeline to the Pac-10. And if I am George Kliavkoff and the presidents remaining, the 10 remaining presidents in the Pac-10, I am aggressively expanding to 14 schools. I'm doing everything I can do right now to grow my footprint, get San Diego State. And this is also, by the way, part and parcel to what the Big 12 is doing. And it is curious that the Big 12 is not doing much right now. They have been very quiet, very quiet, which I don't think is a bad thing. They got their TV deal. They're at $30 million or whatever it is per school. Like, okay, great. But what are you going to do to add value? Because you know now that TV deal says, hey, we're not going to pay on par. The TV partners essentially have said, we're not going to pay on par if you bring in a group of 5 school. If you bring in a San Diego State, we're not paying you what we're paying for a P5 program. So I think that's why you see so many people pointing the Big 12 at rating the Pac-10. But I don't know that that's an option. And again, this goes back to Mark Harlan, the athletic director at Utah, saying we're not leaving, which you talked about.
Yeah, I think it's you know, I don't want to come off as being Mr. Negative on the whole thing. It just doesn't make a lot of sense.
No, it doesn't.
I don't like usually when we talk about business dealings in sports, like whether it's this, you know, the Pac-12 thing or, the Jazz trade deadline,
Right.
like any business opportunity, usually there are things where you're like, okay, I could kind of see like where they're coming from. I might disagree with it, but you can kind of understand like why they're doing this or doing that. I just simply don't understand overall. It's not even that I particularly disagree with it. I just don't understand it. I don't understand how you have been in this position for a minute now. It's been, what has it been? What is it like at least months? I feel like we've been talking about this for, it hasn't been a year, but damn, it feels like a year, like for a long time now, long enough. And it's surprising to me that a commissioner, would look around the landscape in college football and see just how successful, the SEC is, just how successful, albeit a 2-team league, the Big Ten is. and then you look at the Big 12 making progress at least, and then you're sitting here on your hands. And I just, you look at this tweet out of Mark Harlan, like the arrogance in this tweet, the absolute pride on display in this tweet of we're not leaving.
But look at the original tweet from John Kurtz, who says the Pac-12 had a standalone game on Friday night with huge playoff implications, and their biggest brand that is leaving soon playing, and was almost $3.5 million behind two non-OU Texas Big 12 teams. Bro, I mean, that's a huge problem, man.
And then to retweet that and say we're not leaving. So that's why I say, like.
And by the way, Mark Harlan, the athletic director at Utah, saying we're not leaving.
It's incredible.
And like you have Dr. Chris Hill, the former athletic director at Utah, saying our alumni base is in the Bay Area. Come on. You really think that your alumni is not going to follow you to the Big 12 if you go to the Big 12? Like, to me, you're putting yourself in an unlikely situation to succeed here. If you truly are steadfast at Utah, staying in the Pac-10, I think that's great. But you better be part of the solution. You better be proactively working behind the scenes to help the conference move forward. Because I just don't see that you're going to make as much money in the Pac-10 if this truly is where we are as a conference. And if George Kliavkoff and the membership are stuck on this idea of a TV deal before expansion, which, again, I think is a mistake.
But, like, even that concept, not to cut you off, but that concept is exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
You are so hell-bent on signing a TV deal before you expand that you're just sitting here meddling. Like,
it's crazy
to me. And again, I'm not the Pac-10, Pac-12 commissioner. I'm not some football coach or AD or whatever, right? Like, I'm not in it. So maybe I'm missing something here. But to me, it makes way more sense to expand and then do the deal.
It does.
Because then, like, your TV partners know how many teams you are. Like, they know the markets. Like, you have an actual foundation to negotiate off of. I mean, you can't go to somebody. It's like this Comcast thing, right? This is a perfect example, the Comcast thing, where Comcast, has been overpaying and didn't know it, and the Pac-12 knew it. That whole thing we talked about last week. It's a perfect example. You're doing business not knowing how many people actually subscribe in Comcast land.
That's crazy.
Like, how is that possible? Like, it's the same thing.
But what else does that say? And I want to get to your comments because I really want to hear from you guys on this. Drop your comments. Like, do you think that the Pac-12 survives? I think is one of the bigger questions out of this. But what happens to Pac-12 networks? Because I think absolutely no matter what, I think the Pac-12 networks are going away as we currently know them. I don't think you need, multiple streams or multiple feeds. You need one channel, the Pac-12 network, right? But I don't think in cable country that's worked, and I think it has cost them a ton of money. And now they are moving out. They are closing their facility down and moving to the East Bay, San Ramon, California. And they're going to, by what's been described as build a production house. Note they didn't say we're moving Pac-12 networks to San Ramon. They said we are building a production house. I think you're going to see that this is not going to be a network anymore. And I think that there are, and I've been told repeatedly, that you have presidents who want to stop dumping money into Pac-12 networks. Mm-hmm. And I think that's exactly right. And I was tweeting yesterday with some people over whether or not, there is actually a balance of power. But I actually don't think there's any question that there is a balance of power. And I think when you look at the way that this has played out, I just think these presidents don't any longer want to put bad money after bad money into the Pac-12 networks because it just hasn't worked. They've
and how
lost
can you blame them?
Hundreds. Yeah, they've lost hundreds of millions of dollars. And at this point, really, the potential between the money you've spent and the money you've not made, it's multiple $billion at this point.
And there's no way back.
Yeah.
That's the problem. There's no way back on the Pac-12 network. There's just not, because, again, you're on Dish. You're not on DirecTV. You're not on, like, with all due respect to Dish and its customers, like, DirecTV is where you need to be to make the most money. Like again, that's just the reality of the landscape. And that's why when this conversation, that we've been having for 25 minutes now, at the beginning of this conversation, we talked about the fact that there is a philosophical difference of opinion on whether streaming can be a tier 1 option, meaning can a streaming service, Amazon Prime Video, can you have all your games on Amazon Prime Video and be successful?
Not even all your games, just your biggest games. And right now, like, Oregon, Washington would arguably be the biggest football game in the conference, right? If Oregon and Washington are on Amazon Prime Sports, how much does that hurt you? Versus Oregon and Washington being the 6 Pacific, 9 Eastern kickoff on ESPN and ESPN Plus. I think it's significantly less viewership. I do, and I know that you have hundreds of millions of subscribers on Amazon, but that doesn't translate. Soccer mom probably isn't watching Pac-12 football in Florida.
I wonder if Amazon has, and I know they have access to this type of stuff, but like, I wonder if in this, air quotes, negotiation or conversation, this window in time for the conference, if Amazon has provided George Kliavkoff and the team at the Pac-12 conference with detailed subscriber numbers, meaning, hey, yeah, we have this many, subscribers or whatever to Amazon Prime
Video users.
Users. But how many of those inside of that number, how many of those people actually are sports consumers?
And I think Eric and Raleigh way back in the day, and I don't know if Eric's here today, but I think Eric and Raleigh back in the day, when we first started talking about that, made that exact point. Hey, it's cool that you have all these people that use Amazon Prime Video.
Yeah.
But does Carol in Lake Forest, California, is she watching, the Housewives of Orange County, or is she watching Pac-12 football? Because I don't think just because you have, and what is the number, 400 million or however many
like that,
Amazon Prime members there are, that has nothing to do with how many of them will watch football. Because if you look at the drop-off the NFL saw on Thursday Night Football being on Prime Video, I actually think Amazon did well with that, and I think everybody's pretty happy with it. But the Pac-12 already has, you're fitting all their viewers into a thimble at this point already. That number is going to shrink more because people, are not going to know where to find the game right off the bat. You're going to have to retrain them.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot of people who find it clunky to have to switch apps on a smart TV. I already complain about that. We did it last night. My wife was watching Downton Abbey last night. And I'm like, yeah, but there's, or basketball, but over here and Property Brothers, and I've got Dame, and
as of July 5th, 2022, this is saying there's 163.5 million people with a Prime account, and they're forecasting forward that number is going to push 180 million by 2025.
So let's call it 100. Even if you go to 180 million,
yeah.
How many of those people are watching Prime Sports? Do you guys know that Amazon has Prime Sports Talk? Are you guys aware? Are you guys at all aware that Amazon Sports does live sports talk every day
in the app?
I had no idea they were doing that until a couple of weeks ago. Now, I don't know. I don't understand the philosophy at Amazon. I don't understand the marketing at Amazon. I don't understand, because you don't see Amazon marketing the NFL. I see the NFL marketing Amazon,
which is a big difference, by the way.
It's a huge difference.
Yeah.
I had no idea there was live streaming sports talk video on Amazon Sports. I had no idea. None whatsoever.
What are you talking about, man?
And this is what I do for a living. I do live streaming sports talk. I had no idea until a couple of weeks ago that Amazon even existed in that space. I had no idea. I don't know.
It is. I will maintain that. I think the positive side of Amazon is that they do have a base of people that are already on their platform and could potentially be turned into a sports fan. I think that's the positive. But I have to agree that when you're talking to someone who, like you guys who consume live streaming sports talk every day, how many of you actually knew that Amazon did that? If we didn't know that, I have to imagine that not, most consumers who, are just kind of living life and doing their thing and have kids and have all this stuff that they're handling that grown-ass adults handle. Like, I don't think you probably know about that. But I would be really curious. I think it's a great question.
Yep. The Monty Show every day is presented by our good friends at The Advocates.
We got stuck in traffic at a construction zone, and I got rear-ended at 80 miles an hour, so I needed help. They just stepped in and pretty much took care of everything. If you're in a motor vehicle accident or situation, call The Advocates.
TheAdvocates.com present the Monty Show every single day. You never go into your pocket. No retainers, no consultation fees. You don't pay The Advocates until they win your case. Chat with an attorney live online at TheAdvocates.com. All right, let's get your thoughts in here on this. Would you watch Pac-12 football on Amazon? Do you watch sports on Amazon? What are your thoughts on that? Let's see where we are. Somebody gave us a $10 tip. Let me see. Larry Pilgrim, good morning to you. Most smart TVs come preloaded with the Amazon app. It's easy to access. Yeah, my TV has the Amazon app. But the difference is there is a convenience factor to, the NFL's on Fox. Let me just go over to Fox 13.
But it's right there. He knows the channel that football on Fox is. You know the channel. And I don't disagree, Larry, that when you open the Amazon app, the Amazon has done a good job, like with Thursday Night Football, putting it right there on the homepage so you can just get to it really quick.
But let's be honest, though. If you have a smart TV and you click up to get to your apps, because I have a Samsung 900-inch rocket ship in my living room, right? I think I have a 70-inch or whatever.
Right, beautiful TV.
I click up on my TV remote. So not my DirecTV remote, my TV remote.
Right.
I click the menu up button and it pulls up all of my apps. If I scroll over to Amazon Prime Video and I highlight it, it'll tell me Thursday Night Football is live. And then it'll say Downton Abbey. And then it'll say Chicago PD. And then it'll say... So you're right, it's not difficult to get to. But here's the problem. If the National Football League saw a significant drop in viewership from broadcast Thursday Night Football to stream Thursday Night Football, and I think they had issues with announcers. I think they had issues with audio. Yep. I think they worked all of that out as the season went on. Al Michaels and I thought Kirk Herbstreit was incredibly awkward at times, but they got better, right? So they did a good job with the broadcast, and they still saw a precipitous decline in viewership.
Yeah.
That's the National Football League. What do you say to the Pac-12, who already doesn't have the biggest games in the country, not close to the biggest games in the country? How many people are willing to go over to Amazon Prime to watch that? When Alabama, Florida, when Ohio State, Michigan State.
Dude, let's get...
The Garden Variety big conference game is on.
But let's get into the nitty-gritty too, right? You have that dynamic, and as a sports fan, like Wednesday night, tomorrow night, Jazz play again. So tomorrow night, I can guarantee you that I will be flipping around, and I'll have 683-1 dialed in. I'll have probably 206 dialed in. I'll probably have 216 dialed in.
No, you know what I'll have dialed in? I'll have 725, 726, 727. You know why? Because that's the NBA League Pass.
Yes.
I know the numbers. I'm a DirecTV subscriber. I know the channel numbers I need to go to on a regular basis because, frankly, that's what I watch regularly. I'm either in my DVR watching... Last night we watched some Property Brothers. We watched some X Games. We watched some on the DVR.
Right.
Flipping back and forth to basketball. Flipping back and forth to Property Brothers. I think that's probably how most Americans during the week watch TV. But on the weekends, I know where the NFL Sunday Ticket is. I know where the League Pass is. I can tell you I know where the MLB package is. I know where to find Cubs baseball. And you're right. If it goes to Amazon, Larry, I'll know how to find the Pac-12 on Amazon. But I am a diehard Utah Pac-12 fan.
Hey, by the way, where'd the Sunday ticket go to? Anybody wondering?
And by the way, speaking of YouTube TV, when people cut the cord, a new study came out, a new survey came out yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Where are people going when they cut the cord? So when they stop DirecTV or they stop Comcast cable what's the number one service they go to? YouTube TV. And it's not close.
Yeah.
Notice they didn't say, well, I need my sports, so I'm going to. No, they're going to YouTube TV. That's, to me, the future. And Larry Scott sat in front of us all those years ago now at Pac-12 Media Days.
It's on the channel, I believe.
It is. And said, oh, well, because I asked him specifically about a deal with Google. He said, we're working on it. We're working on it. And it never came. And that's where Pac-12 football should live.
Yeah.
Pac-12 football should live on YouTube TV.
Yep.
But it won't. And that's it. That's a huge problem. Larry, I appreciate the tip. Thanks so much. Larry also says college football is regional for the most part, and sports bars have DirecTV with games on so hard to really know how the true numbers are.
Well,
totally
that's
agree.
That's another side of the conversation, because how many sports bars are going to be willing to add yet another cost to their bottom line? Because
I don't think a lot of them. I really don't.
Like you think about, DirecTV, Dish, you look at, we'll use The Break as an example, right? Great sports bar here in town. Love them. Club sandwich. I'm about it. Let's go. Let's do it. They have great TVs with all kinds of different programming on them. No, they don't have YouTube TV streaming. They don't have Amazon Prime Sports streaming. They have ESPN or NFL Network or the major player in the space. I have to imagine, not that I spend much time there on the weekends, but on the weekends, I have to imagine Fox is probably on the tube with a football game.
We've been, Mrs. Monty and I were at The Break in December on a Sunday morning. All the NFL games are there. I don't know. Will they do that? I have no idea. San Diego State says, I went to Sling TV, then switched to YouTube TV.
Right.
Good morning, NY Monty fan says, I have YouTube TV for almost 2 years now. You stud.
Yeah, and by the way, I should say this. When the Jazz roll out the new TV deal, I have to imagine that Jazz basketball will be available on YouTube TV. I'd be really surprised if it wasn't, just because of how much of a player they are in the space. If that happens, I would definitely consider using YouTube TV. We use it every day here. It's got everything else I need. I would have no trouble using it.
By the way, I also think that's one of the things that we talked about last week was that news that Comcast customers can now stream Jazz basketball. So I think that was really interesting. Wow, a lot of YouTube TV subscribers on this show. Eric and Raleigh says having the channels grouped together is a huge win. It is. I agree with that. Boyd Lake. And the NFL is not used to shrinking and declining anywhere. Yeah. I would agree with that. Let's see. Who else is in this morning? Maury Alvarez, first one in, says, morning, fellas. Working, so I'll catch you after the show. Maury, appreciate you. Teddy Wayman, what's up with you, bud? Teddy, you got to come to my house, dude. Got to come to my house. Shower's a problem, man.
I want better fucking execution.
The Teddy Wayman bat signal is up.
Are we clear on that?
He says, hit the like button. Indeed. Kenai Johnson, how are you? Hasn't the Pac-12 been doomed? I mean, the Pac-10, they are doomed. I honestly, if it's $25 million a year, which sources told us yesterday, the current offer on the table for the Pac-12 combined is $25 million a year per school for 10 schools for 7 years. And there are, again, if you're just tuning into the show, Oregon, Washington, and the Arizona schools have not said that they will ratify that grant of rights. They won't sign the grant of rights on that deal.
Yeah.
And I think that is there. I think there's a divided conference. I really do. Provo Cougar fan says, where is global warming when you really could use it? It is cold this morning in Utah.
Yes.
Depending on where you are. I know we have, Vegas, Phoenix. We were looking at our numbers yesterday where most of our viewers are. I don't know how it happened, but Los Angeles, Las Vegas, Phoenix, you guys are coming in strong. Now, by far, Utah, Salt Lake City is by far our largest market, northern Utah. But it's good to see you guys from around the Pacific Southwest.
Yeah.
And stuff.
Yeah.
Good to see you guys. Eric and Raleigh is here this morning. Let's just get the NCAA football down to 24 team conferences
That's what I'm
already.
saying, dude. We're messing around with like 18 different conferences. Just group them together. Like, it just is what it is.
I don't think that's a bad idea. Football at 50, presented by our good friends at Papa Murphy's Pizza in 10 minutes. James Knight, all the way in Australia, mate.
James, did you see what I sent to you in the group chat last night? You
little Josh Giddey love.
Yeah, you conveniently ignored me. The other day on the show, you said I don't watch, Oklahoma City Thunder basketball, and I was watching last night.
Shea Gilgeous-Alexander was pretty good last night.
Dude.
Ooh. Jazz basketball talk in 20 minutes. Stick around for that. Andy H. says Royal Palm, Florida, 70 degrees. Hey, thanks.
Thanks, Andy. Appreciate it,
Appreciate
dude.
that.
Thanks, bud.
Appreciate that. We were talking about Tampa, Florida yesterday. Tampa, Florida had good weather yesterday. Landon Young says, good morning. Landon, nice to see you. Mr. Preston, who's a member of the program, says, good morning. It's a bit frosty out, but let's go.
Yes.
Exactly right. Brett Robbins says, I can't wait for Dorian. Yeah, Lopes fan Gabe, who's a member, says, good morning. Capazzo, good morning to you. Provo Cougar fan says, haven't Oregon, Washington, Stanford, and Cal demanded a higher revenue share than everyone else? That depends on who you believe. I've heard multiple times that Oregon and Washington are in line to get a larger share of the pot. Well, I mean, Washington has the most vocal president in the conference right now. She has been very vocal about wanting to slash expenses on Pac-12 network. And I think she's one of the people leading the charge to eliminate Pac-12 network. And turn it into a production house, as we know they're doing. She's been one of the people leading that.
I love this concept, though, that Stanford and Cal, could, like, even the notion that they've demanded a bigger slice of the pie. Who the hell are you to demand a bigger slice of the pie? Like, Stanford
and Cal have been a weight around the neck of the Pac-12.
Yeah.
I mean, they have. I mean, neither one of them is relevant in football. And Stanford is slightly relevant in basketball. And it's just been so difficult to consistently perform at a high level at Stanford or Cal because the academics at Stanford are, I mean, it's tough to get into Stanford, man. It's such, and I think the other thing is people don't realize how small of a school Stanford is. It's not a big school. It is not. It's not UCLA. It's not.
No.
It's not a big school whatsoever. Eric says no one in the Bay Area cares about Stanford or Cal. They don't. I agree with that. Capazzo says 21 in the Jeezy this morning. Oh, what a fine day. Good morning, St. George. Good to see you. K-Do, Rock Chalk, what's up? On top of this TV deal, you have the repayments back to Comcast. Not good for the Pac. I mean, Gesundheit. It's not good for the Pac at all.
Yeah.
The Pac-12. By the way, did anybody also notice that they fired the president of the Pac-12 networks and have not replaced them? Do you think that position gets filled?
Not until after this is settled.
I don't think it ever gets filled because, again, and I could be completely wrong about this. We talk to a lot of people in the industry.
Yeah.
Based on those conversations, I think Pac-12 networks goes away. There's no reason to have a president when you're not going to have a network.
Yeah.
I think Pac-12 network goes away. I truly do. I don't think
maybe it does, dude.
I don't think it continues. I just thought it was interesting. It was pointed out to me yesterday. They haven't filled those positions they eliminated. Like that to me makes a lot of sense. Tim Bruckmiller says, does Colorado and Utah want to sign this deal when they have an invite to the Big 12? I don't know that they have an invite to the Big 12.
Yeah, I don't think you can guarantee that, dude. I certainly, Tim, I'm with you, bro. Like again, in the membership Instagram group, members only group, we were talking about this yesterday for probably a good hour or so. Like I literally hate the position Utah's in right now, where you have an AD that's very arrogant, very prideful, very boastful.
But very good at his job, though.
Well,
he's been, but they've gotten facility upgrades. You continue to see the infrastructure and support that athletics is getting at Utah.
Yeah.
So he's done a good job. I'm with you. I don't agree on his stance on we're not leaving.
The tough part for me, like, I don't disagree. Yes, he's done all that. But it very much to me feels like, and I could be wrong, but it feels like to me, what good is any of that if you're in a conference that just doesn't matter? It does, like the Pac-12 is irrelevant. Like it's one team, and it's two teams on the years that Utah, gets that final stage of the season,
Yeah.
and that's and again, I'm not a BYU homer or Utah homer. Like, I didn't grow up in the state, so I'm just telling it how I see it, and I'm just simply saying, what good is the best program in the country if you're in some, like Clemson? What good is Clemson in the ACC? Right? Like, what good is Ohio State in the Big Ten? It doesn't matter, dude. But
the Big Ten at least makes a ton of money.
Right.
It's not a deep or quality football conference. Any way you slice it, that's a crappy football conference. But what do? They put Michigan and Ohio State in the college football playoff, and they make money. I don't know what else you're trying to do.
What's the real difference then, right? Because if you're not better on the field, because this is the age-old debate that we've had on this show a million times.
A million times, yes, sir.
The Pac-12 is way better on the field than the Big Ten, right? And the Pac-12 arguably is just as good on the field, top to bottom, as the Big 12, yet somehow, some way, we find ourselves in a position where we get to talk about, hey, the Pac-12 is suffering and likely isn't going to survive because they have bad leadership, and the other four conferences have, good to or decent to good to elite leadership. And so when we talk about Utah, that's where I get frustrated. Not because I think Utah sucks or because they're not good enough. They're plenty good enough. They have great facilities. Like, they're a great school. But when your AD has this philosophy of we're not going anywhere and we're committed to some conference that hasn't done anything for us, in my opinion, like when you compare them to the other conferences that we're talking about, I just don't get it. And that's why I say this narrative about, the Big 12 adding schools, like, you really needed. Ideally, you would have gotten into the Big 12 in that expansion window. When they added BYU and, and all those three other schools, that's when you would have, ideally would have liked to have gotten in, but you didn't. And so now I'm left to wonder, if you're going to publicly say on Twitter, hey, we're not leaving, and the other conferences aren't expanding, then don't cry me a river about 7 years and 25 a year. I don't feel bad for you. That's the bed you've made.
Yeah. Let's see. Jasketball says, is Cam Rising coming back or is his career done? No, he's coming back. He is coming back,
Which,
no doubt.
Again, is the other shame in all this. The boys are coming back.
Yeah.
Brant's coming back. By
the way, don't forget, and you have a chance to ask Brant Keithy about coming back, because Brant and our guy Max Tooley will join us for the Monty Big 5-0 birthday bash, March 10th. March 10th at Mavericks Center. Both Brant Keithy and Max Tooley will be there for you. That's going to be an incredible event. We're working on that as we speak. It's going to be ridiculous. That is going to be so much fun.
Yes.
It is March 10th right here at the Mavericks Center. The Kansas City Mavericks are in town to take on your Utah Grizzlies. And we are going to have Max and Brant come on out. If I could get the screen. If I could get the banner off the screen. Max and Brant Keithy are going to come out March 10th. They're going to watch the game with you. We're going to have a fully catered meal for you. If you are a member, you are in. And we're going to give a bunch of spots away to the show. So make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Make sure that you follow us on Twitter and Instagram. The Monty Show, Monty, The Monty Show, and SLC Supercars, because we're going to do some social
Jake.
stuff. SLC Jake. SLC Jake. Let me SLC Jake. That is just so burned onto my brain.
Yeah.
SLC,
I had that name for like 2 years, man.
SLC Jake.
It's a great name.
On Twitter and Instagram.
Yeah.
SLC Jake. Follow Jake on Twitter and Instagram, SLC Jake. You can follow me, The Monty Show, Monty, The Monty Show on Twitter and Instagram.
By the way, I'm at 998 followers on Instagram. Can we get the job done
today,
Can we
get the job done, please?
Bro. Come on, man.
Casuals.
Come on,
998.
Come on.
That's awesome. Follow Jake on Twitter and Instagram, SLC Jake. on Twitter and Instagram. Couple more of your comments real quick before football at 50. Mapes, what's up? Success follows risk takers. Death comes to any company going by the status quo, and Utah is taking the status quo stance.
Yeah.
But isn't that what the conference is doing? Because if I'm the Pac-12, I'm all in on Amazon Prime Sports. I would go all in on streaming. I would, because you're going to suffer in the short term, but I think you're going to thrive in the long term. Amazon does not do anything half-assed. I think I would go all in on it. I just would. Eric in Raleigh says, why does Jake hate cars now?
I don't.
Yes, he does. Barfing Chicken says 5 years from now, Utah beats Eastern Washington in the Pac-12 championship to advance to the Poutine Bowl in Pocatello, Idaho. Okay.
Well done.
Okay.
Well done.
Tanner says, personally, Jake, you should have kept SLC supercars. Nah, SLC Jake's a little bit better for the business. You know what I'm saying? And speaking of the business, 10 of the hour, every hour, on the Monty Show, we bring you football at 50. Presented by our good friends at Papa Murphy's Pizza. Too many banners today. Football at 50, 10 of the hour, every hour on the Monty Show. Thanks to our good friends at Papa Murphy's Pizza. Guys. The marinara meatballs are back, baby. Hook it up. I'm telling you. Get your pizza and the meatballs and the take and bake chocolate chip cookies and live happily ever after. That's what it's about, my friends. Traditional crust barbecue sauce. By the way, I went home yesterday and crushed day-old pizza. Oh, my God.
Yes.
I'm on a mushroom pizza run right now. Mushroom, onions. Oh, my God.
Yes.
I am all about it. And I don't know why. I don't know how it happened at Papa Murphy's. I just one day went extra mushrooms with the herb seasoning, barbecue sauce, mixed onions, extra mushrooms.
Yeah.
So good. So good. Football at 50 is presented by our good friends at Papa Murphy's Pizza. What's going on with the Dallas Cowboys? Because you know that the Dallas Cowboys fired Kellen Moore. And about 3 minutes later, the San Diego Chargers hired Kellen Moore to be their offensive coordinator.
All right.
Was this a really bad move? If you're the Dallas Cowboys, did you make a big mistake here with Kellen Moore?
Yeah, I think 100% you made a huge mistake. I think you had the number 4 offense in the league, and that wasn't good enough for you. And you wanted to be better. And what I'm always going to say in the NFL is that's great. I love that you want to be better. But wanting to be better doesn't always mean firing one of the best offensive coordinators in the league. Like, that doesn't work. And yeah, has he gone to the AFC? Yeah, he has. So you're fine. But to me, Mike McCarthy and expecting him to call plays, that's a recipe for disaster. He's never been some dynamic play caller.
No.
He's never been some magician of the offensive playbook. He's, most importantly, not going to be the reason why Dak throws less interceptions, if that does indeed happen.
Well, and I also think that this is very Dallas Cowboys of you, right? I mean, Mike McCarthy calling plays, in my opinion, is a huge mistake. But what a hire for the San Diego Whales vagina. We play at the LA Rams house Chargers. This is a great hire.
Yeah.
And that in itself is shocking, right? Kellen Moore's a really good pickup. And this on the news that Chargers quarterback and noted Monty Show sex machine, Justin Herbert, had labrum surgery on his non-throwing left shoulder yesterday. And he also has broken ribs that he played through. He played through this injury, Justin Herbert did, and they still were on the cusp of a playoff spot. What a stud.
Yes.
Like, this guy, in my opinion, and listen, I understand, hey, a playoff game's a playoff game, but this guy battled through it.
Yeah.
I mean, and you now understand, though, why the struggle was so real for Justin Herbert at the end of the season. I think it feels like now Wales vagina, LA Rams house Chargers. At some point, I'll stop being bitter about them leaving San Diego. But the LA Chargers feel like a team to me now that are on the precipice, the edge, the verge of being a really, really good football team, depending on, hey, are we going to upgrade the O-line a little bit? We're going to get a little bit better weapons on the outside? Well,
what else does this do, too? Like, I think in the organization, when you had Brandon Staley on the ropes for his job. Like, I think it really helps when you can go out and land a reliable, a well-known OC to come in and do a job, right? Like, now it's not like, oh, well, hey, Brandon, like, we're not sure if you're the guy. It's like, hey, we're going to go with you. You're going to get another opportunity. But now you've added Kellen Moore. And I know, hey, Dallas didn't go super far, but what do we know about Dallas under Kellen Moore? We know that Dak was a 5,000 passer, right? Like, upper echelon, top tier offense. So if Kellen Moore comes in and takes this offense to the next level with better schematics, better game planning,
but dude, they got to get better receivers. Like, with all, dude, like, I'm looking at the box on that crazy Jaguars comeback win. Gerald Everett, who's a good tight end, 6 for 109 and a touchdown. Keenan Allen, I don't know if he's a number one anymore. He's injured so often. Joshua Palmer, Donald Parham, DeAndre Carter, like, come on, be better. You got to be better than that. And with all due respect to Austin Eckler, give me a bigger back. If I'm the Wales Vagina Chargers, I'm all in on Saquon. I am all in on Saquon.
Yeah, hey, Tom Telesco, GM.
Hey, Tommy Telesco.
Hey, pick up the damn phone and call the New York Football Giants.
That's what I'm talking about. Well, by the way, did anybody see that the franchise tag numbers came out?
Oh, dude.
Franchise tag for quarterbacks, I mean, Lamar Jackson is going to be $32.4 million.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this. Are you going to tag Lamar Jackson and pay him $32.4 million if you're Baltimore? Furthermore, what about Daniel Jones and the Giants? I think I would pay Daniel Jones $32 million. I'm not paying Lamar Jackson $32 million.
Yeah, the problem is
I'm not doing it.
That in Baltimore, there's not an alternative, and I don't think they have the balls to not sign the guy. That's the problem. They don't have the cojones to say, no, we're good. Go play for somebody else. They don't have that. And I think that, the tough part is in Baltimore, like you are a great team when you're really good. You're a great brand for the NFL.
Yeah.
But the reality is you're Baltimore, with all due respect. You're not LA, you're not Chicago,
with
you're
all
not New York.
due respect.
Like, you're not Tampa or Miami. Like, you're Baltimore. Like, we know who you are. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I think that you have to have the balls to let the guy walk away. But at the same time, if you're going to do that, what's your plan?
Yeah, totally agree. By the way, big news out of the Big 12 today. You guys see what's going to happen at noon? The Big 12 schedule is going to be released. Finally, and thanks to our friend Boyd Lake, we found out that BYU is going to TCU at the very minimum. I think this is a huge day for BYU football. I think this is everything you've been waiting for, BYU fan. And that schedule is going to be amazing.
Yeah, don't expect 10 wins this year. I can just tell you that right now.
Just be 500.
Yeah.
That's all you need out of Kalani Sitake and his new Jay Hill-led staff. Just be 500 this year going into the Big 12 because I think it's going to be an absolute ass-kicking. The Big 12 football schedule comes out at noon.
Yeah.
We will have full coverage of that for you tomorrow morning right here on the program. But there's never been a better time than right now to download the Papa Murphy's app and make sure you get your marinara meatballs.
At Papa Murphy's, we do more than just pizza. We do meatballs and marinara.
Papa Murphy's, that's meatballs?
Oh, I think you mean I do the meatballs and marinara?
And how do you do it, Dad?
How do I do it? How do I do it?
Oh, well, we do it with savory ground beef
Covered in tangy marinara. That's how, honey.
At Papa Murphy's, we make great pizza.
And don't forget the meatballs.
Order now at papamurphys.com.
Yep, or do what Monty does and use the Papa Murphy's mobile app. So easy. Order at 6 a.m. for 5:30 p.m. pickup. Easy peasy, bro. And get the marinara meatballs. I know that I go on and on about these balls, but I'm telling you, they're amazing.
I want it,
dude. They never make it to the pizza. That's the problem.
Because you're such a big fan.
I love them balls, dude.
Yeah,
they are Italian beef meatballs with really good marinara, with really creamy mozzarella.
Yeah.
They're so good. I mean, get them at Papa Murphy's. In the app, use the promo code Monty25 to get 25% off your purchase of $25 or more. The Monty Show, as always, presented by The Advocates, theadvocates.com. Just again, simply put, the best injury attorneys in the business, The Advocates. And it's because they have compassion, they have empathy, they have understanding. They have seen what you have not seen. They know what you don't know, because when you've been in an accident, there's a lot of decisions that need to be made. And when you rely on your insurance company, that's a decision that's a mistake for you. And when you work with the advocates, they're going to help you make the right decisions. They're going to guide you through the process so that you get everything you have coming to you. Meanwhile, while they do that, you're going to rest, you're going to recover, you're going to get back to work, you're going to get back to living. You want to make sure that you're taken care of, because when you get in a wreck, man, and heaven forbid that you're injured, or your car is totaled, or that's a big impact on your life. And the advocates are there that guide you through it. It just truly is life-altering, the decision you make when you get in an accident. Your insurance company has thousands of attorneys. Shouldn't you have one too? Absolutely you should. Get the best, theadvocates.com. All right, let's switch gears. We've talked a lot this morning about the Pac-12 TV deal. If you're just tuning in, I think it is the biggest story in Utah sports. I don't think it's even close. Sources have told us that the Pac-12 is divided on streaming, that Oregon, Washington, and the Arizona schools will not sign a grant of rights that includes Amazon as their tier one partner, because they are not convinced that streaming is the best option for their biggest football and basketball games. It is a big deal. And a TV deal for the Pac-12 right now, a distribution deal, is not close. And we are also told that currently the offer on the table only delivers $25 million per school per season. And that does not include, like revenue splits or unequal revenue sharing with Oregon and Washington. They're not close to a deal at this point. From what I understand, it does not feel like that they will get this done. And this was supposed to be done in November, then December. Oh, it's going to be done right after the new year. Well, guess what? Tomorrow's February 1st, and we still do not have an Amazon TV deal, ESPN TV deal. And we've told you for months, going back to the fall, that Fox has told the Pac-12 that they are not interested in being a tier one partner with the Pac-12. Who'd you hear that from first? Right here on the Monty Show.
Yeah.
As always, make sure that you become a member of the program, because yesterday our members on this channel, and we appreciate every single one of you, our members on this program, got that information first. Our memberships are $9.99 a month. It gets you exclusive content. It gets you an exclusive video every day. But most of all, it gets you into our members-only Instagram chat group. And yesterday, Greg Hawkins was just stirring the blue cheese pot, talking Utah versus BYU, talking Big 12 versus Pac-12. Was a great conversation, as always. Anytime there's a big sports story, a big NFL game, certainly every night when the Jazz play, we're all in there chopping it up on Jazz basketball. You too can join as well. Let's talk Utah Jazz basketball, because the Jazz are off again. Jake, is the Jazz season over?
I guess. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I guess they just get a week off at a time now or something. I'm not really particularly sure like what they did, or if they paid the league or whatever. But to have 4 days in a row off is pretty incredible.
Yep, Raptors in town tomorrow. OG Anunoby will not play. He is out, looks like 4 games at a minimum, which is going to hurt his trade value, obviously. He is one of the hottest names on the trade market. But there has been a lot of conversations around the Utah Jazz and Dorian Finney-Smith. And it's been interesting to hear all of this conjecture, this opinion.
Yeah.
I can tell you that Utah Jazz and NBA sources have told me that the Jazz are not particularly interested in Dorian Finney-Smith. He's 29 years old. He just signed a 4-year deal. And it's not a particularly heavy contract. It's $14 to $19 million. But he's 29 years old. He is a guy, in my opinion, and I know you watch quite a bit of the Mavericks as I do.
Right.
He's an okay three-point shooter.
Mm-hmm.
He is a decent defender, but he doesn't do either at an elite level. And right now, if you make a deal for Dorian Finney-Smith, if you're the Utah Jazz, it would kind of be confounding. I would be confused by that. Because if you look at where the Jazz are right now, does Dorian Finney-Smith make this team a better basketball club for the next 5 years? He does not. And if you're going to give Malik Beasley or Mike Conley, and remember, we've been telling you now, Dallas and the Jazz have been talking for weeks about a deal. And I think in the next week, because the trade deadline's a week from Thursday.
Yeah.
In that next period of time, I think the Jazz and the Mavericks very likely will make a deal because the Mavs need Mike Conley or Malik Beasley or both, if we're being honest. But what do the Dallas Mavericks have that the Utah Jazz really need? Tim Hardaway Jr. ain't that guy. I'm telling you, Dorian Finney-Smith ain't that guy. And the Jazz, again, as I am told, are not banging down the Mavericks door to get Dorian Finney-Smith. He's not a guy that they are hot to trot to get.
Right.
Jake, I don't know that 1v1, Dallas has the pieces to make a deal with the Jazz.
Yeah, I mean, I think that Dorian Finney-Smith is this guy that, obviously has a lot of playoff experience and could bring that to your club, but I don't think that giving up, some of your best trade value to get Dorian Finney-Smith makes a whole lot of sense. And yeah, 1v1, it doesn't really work. The Mavericks don't have a lot to offer. We're like, that's why the Jalen Brunson deal worked so well, because Jalen Brunson was this really valuable contributor that, you could clearly see would contribute at a high level, given that Luka wasn't on the floor and that could translate to another team. And that's why the Knicks did that deal. But I look at the Jazz right now, and I'm telling you, they are a match made in heaven for three-team situations. They just are. Like, you look at the money, you look at the pieces they have, like, you look at the other teams that want to be around. Like, it just makes a lot of sense. And I also don't know why you would want to do business head up with someone that you're going to run into regularly, because that also has to at least be a consideration. I know we've talked all about, John Collins and Atlanta and Phoenix and in the Jazz. In that setup, okay, I'm okay with it because I'm getting a guy that's really going to contribute for the club for a long time, for the next 4 to 5 years. But Dorian Finney-Smith isn't some huge, great difference maker. Can he play great defense? Yeah, he can play some pretty good defense. Can he knock down a three here and there? Absolutely. But when you watch Mavericks basketball, if you go back on YouTube and you look at the Jazz and Mavericks series, Dorian Finney-Smith wasn't some huge, series-defining guy. That's not who he is. And I'm not even trying to hate on Buddy. I'm just saying, he's not that guy. So I'm not willing to trade away Threesley and Vando for a guy that's not going to be hugely difference-making.
Yeah, and I don't think that trade works, in my opinion, for the Jazz. I just don't see a lot of value in that. I'm not interested in lower-level draft picks because any pick you get from the Mavericks you would think would not have a ton of value because it's going to be at the bottom of the first round.
Yeah.
And I again go back to this idea that, listen, Dorian Finney-Smith signed a $55 million extension. The money's not the problem. The player's the problem. And when I look at the capital that you would get in return for sending out a guy, Malik Beasley, who still is one of the hottest names in the NBA as far as trades go, why am I going to do that particular deal head up with Dallas? That doesn't make sense. Now, are you willing to take Dorian Finney-Smith's contract? Sure. I'm willing to do that. Do I get Phoenix's first-round pick? Okay, great. Let's talk about it. Mm-hmm. Right? Is Jared Vanderbilt going to end up in Phoenix? And, I'm good with those deals. But the thing that really stands out to me is there are better deals for the Jazz to make. If I'm taking a contract in return, I'd much rather take Ayo Dosunmu's deal in Chicago. I'd much rather those are the deals I want to make, right? You can't see Dorian Finney-Smith on this team in 3 years when they're competing for an NBA championship.
Yeah,
he's not that guy, and not at 33 years old at that point. He's not that guy. Mm-hmm. So I don't think that this deal that's being reported, I could see the Jazz and the Mavericks involved in a 3-team trade. That makes a lot of sense to me. I've heard repeatedly that that's the situation. I think we've been pretty spot on with our reporting on Dallas and the Jazz. I think Dallas, and again, I look at Mike Conley and Malik Beasley.
Yes.
I think those are their two most valuable trade chips that they are wanting and willing to move. Because I still maintain, by the way, that Ryan Smith does not want to trade Jordan Clarkson. And he is an emotional guy that gets attached to players as an owner. And hey, you paid billions, knock yourself out, kid. But what I'm telling you is it's a mistake to get emotionally attached to your players when you are rebuilding a roster.
Well, and what doesn't make a lot of sense is getting emotionally attached to those guys and then bringing Danny Ainge in to operate. Because Danny Ainge is the exact opposite. Danny Ainge is not going to come into a roster that was never his and then, trade these guys away to make it his. And then you're going to be, tweeting out, which just is stuck in my craw for whatever reason, about Joe Ingles and Jordan Clarkson. Like, it just is, it's not like that's young owner stuff. That's young owner energy. Experienced owner energy is never tweeting publicly or talking publicly about what you're doing with the club. Like, if you notice, most owners aren't talking about what they're doing with the club unless they're Dolan talking about, Madison Square Garden in facial recognition.
Recognition.
To me, it's like, dude, come on. Like, let's
What were you doing, Jimmy Dolan? What were you doing?
You went to the gas station. You filled up your little tub full of 91. You rolled into the suite at Fox and you poured a bunch of gas on the fire. That's what you were doing. That's what you were doing.
It's absolute craziness.
Yeah.
But I think that, again, I will maintain and I will say what we've been saying for weeks. I think the Jazz have multiple trades out there. We reported yesterday that Jordan Clarkson, there's a deal on the table for Jordan Clarkson. Hey, we'll give you a first-round pick. Give us Jordan Clarkson. And I think, by the way, I think that makes a lot of sense. Listen, if Ryan Smith okays that deal, I don't know why you wouldn't make it. But I think certainly Mike Conley has a lot of value.
And it does
Mike
feel
Conley
like,
is in demand.
It does feel like Danny's got these deals kind of lined out, and he's waiting. He's sitting on them and waiting.
As he should.
And as he should. Totally. 100% agree. And I think that you have to wait and see what these other teams are actually, like, what is Rob Pelinka actually willing to do when it gets down to it?
What is Toronto willing to do? Because I think Toronto has become this club that has multiple pieces. I don't think there's any doubt Fred VanVleet wants to be traded.
I want it.
You can look at the way he's conducting himself, pure class, pure professionalism. That dude wants to be traded. Like, the things that he has said by not saying much about it at all, he's made that pretty clear. The problem is now with this OG Anunoby injury, he's going to be out probably a week, 10 days. That's right at the trade deadline. I mean, so you cast some doubt there. They're asking for 3 first-round picks for OG. They're not getting that.
No.
And then you look at guys like Gary Trent Jr., who I think fits on a multitude of clubs. Like, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Like, I think the Phoenix Suns being interested in Fred VanVleet makes a lot of sense. I think it makes less sense for the Clippers to be interested in Fred because I also think he's injury prone. And they can't afford, when you look at where Kawhi Leonard is, and one of my NBA guys yesterday was saying, Kawhi Leonard's not a guy that wants to play until he's LeBron's age. Kawhi Leonard's not passionate about playing basketball.
Mm-hmm.
You got to win now with Kawhi, because how long are you gonna have Kawhi and PG at this level?
Hey, close.
And how long and how much, how often, how easy is it to build a Kawhi Paul George tandem?
Yeah,
because that ain't easy. And the problem is they haven't been able to build around them.
Mm-hmm.
So do you go and make a move for a savvy veteran like Mike Conley, or do you go make a splash for a guy like Fred VanVleet? I'd probably go with Mike Conley, if we're being honest. Yeah. I can manage Mike's load. Should probably do that in the locker room. But I can I can load manage Mike Conley into a playoff performer.
Well, and I think that, the way their team pans out, Mike Conley, putting him in the mix allows you to run better offense. And when you can get, you've, been hated on for saying that Paul George is, one of the best pure shooters in the NBA.
He is.
I agree with that. And I think that, when you have guys like that on your roster, your only mission should be to get them into their spot. Like, get them the ball in the spots that they like. That should be the mission.
And the other thing that I think people aren't looking at is there are some sleeping giants that you're not hearing a whole lot about. I'm telling you again, watch the New York Knicks. Watch the Knicks. What are the Knicks going to do? Because there's a couple of things at play here. One, that James Dolan interview last week that we shared
Facial
with
recognition.
you. Dude, he's got to do something to win that back, because that is, by most accounts, that was a disaster for him.
Yeah.
That was not a good situation for James Dolan. Well, how do you do that? You make a big trade and curry favor with the public. That's how you do that. You solidify your roster. Like OG Anunoby, I think the Knicks are a great fit for OG Anunoby. I do. I think, and you have a guy that you can trade in RJ Barrett. I think the way, and again, this comes back to what we always talk about with the Knicks. Like, is Julius Randle the guy that he's been this year? Because he's been an elite power forward in this league this year. He's playing at 3 levels. Like, I think he is. Yeah. And I think if you're the Knicks, don't you have to go in all in right now?
Well, and you're going to get Mitchell Robinson back. You're going to solidify.
But I also think they need to trade. You can't. Hartenstein and Robinson is redundancy in my opinion.
Yeah.
I understand why you made those moves. I totally get it. Hartenstein was a nice pickup. I would look to unwind that a little bit. And sources had told us before this injury for Robinson with this thumb, he was available and the Clippers were interested. So I think the Knicks are going. I feel like the Knicks are going to make a move.
Pack your shit. Let's go.
When you look at sleeping giants, man, I think the Lakers can make a course-changing move in the Western Conference. It's a matter of, is Jeannie Buss on board or is she not?
Mm-hmm.
And I think, and I might be making too much of it, I don't know. This situation in Boston the other night, I think that is going to wind up playing a role in the fate of the Lakers this year.
Mm-hmm.
The NBA owes LeBron and the LA Lakers.
Mm-hmm.
And let's watch tonight, because he didn't play last night in Brooklyn. Kyrie was unbelievable, by the way. He didn't play last night in Brooklyn. Make sure you watch the Laker game tonight, because he's going to play. AD and LeBron should play tonight.
Yeah.
Let's see what that looks like on the court. Let's see about the whistles they get. Let's see about
the whistles they get, and let's see about the whistles that they don't get that help them. Let's see.
I'm interested.
Yeah.
I'm interested in that. And it's Lakers Knicks. That game is at 5:30 on TNT. I'm here for that.
Yeah.
I'm here for that, because
yeah.
I need to see. This is a game, by the way, that I think is a great matchup, because I'm a believer in the Knicks. Growing up watching Michael Jordan dominate, I was a huge fan of Patrick Ewing. I watched the Knicks a ton.
Well said.
I'm more of a Knicks believer than most people. I think Tibbs is a terrible coach, and I think RJ Barrett's soft. If they fix those two things in the next year, I think you are going to see that the Knicks are going to contend for the Eastern Conference in the next 3 years as well.
Please.
Because I love what Leon.
Won't.
I think
they won't.
I don't think they will either. I think that they will. I don't know. I'm not ready to say that, because I'm actually in favor of what Leon Rose has done. He should have made the Donovan Mitchell trade.
Yeah, that's where. And again, every executive is going to have trades they miss on, right? So I don't want this. Yes, of course. I don't want Nick fan, who I'm sure is in here, because we're talking Knicks, so I'm sure YouTube's pushing it, but I don't want Nick fan to roll into the live chat section and say, you guys just hate the Knicks, or you don't like the Knicks because Dolan is Dolaning.
Yeah.
Like, don't come in here and say that. What I don't like is that, you didn't make the Don deal. But hey, I'll cut you some slack on that, because every executive has deals that they didn't make that they wish they did, looking back. Everyone has that.
Yeah.
It just is what it is. So to me, now you're in a position, if you're Leon Rose and you're Dolan, to say, okay, we got to let that go, right? We got to be willing to get back on the phone with Danny. We got to be willing to get back on the phone, with some of these teams around the league and make some progress. If I'm the Clippers and I want Mitchell Robinson, and I'm calling the Knicks, I'm answering that call, because I know for a fact that Vika Zubac is not good enough to be your centerpiece on a championship team. He's good enough to get you to the finals.
He's a role player.
But
he's a role player.
I don't think he's good enough to win you the finals.
But again, I look at Boston. See, I think Boston's a really good example of this conversation. Who's Boston's best power forward?
Robert Williams.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
And what I like about him is he's mean. Now, is he skilled enough? That's another conversation because I often wonder that. He's a bit of a brute, right? He's not somebody who's...
He's injury prone.
Yeah.
He is probably a guy that... Can you play him in small ball lineups? They're playing Grant Williams a lot at the power forward because Al Horford is an odd guy because he's your end of game scenario guy.
Al Horford is a young Udonis Haslem in the sense that he's leadership and he's going to play 10 minutes a night.
But I don't think they have a legit power forward. And by the way, how much do the Boston Celtics miss Marcus Smart?
Yeah.
My God. Tell me they don't miss Marcus Smart.
Yep.
Because
they do.
I think they're a different team without him. I don't know. You know, we've debated Jaylen Brown on this show in the past. Is Jaylen Brown that dude? I'm him. Is he Burrowhead? Is he I'm him?
Is he Burrowhead?
Burrowhead Stadium, Joseph Lee Burrow.
Is Jaylen Brown that dude?
Know your role and shut your mouth.
I don't know if Jaylen Brown's that dude. Those free throws he missed the other night, they're in your head. Jeremy Bolton, good morning to you, friend. Good to hear from you. McKinley Cutler, why would you trade one Vernon like that? One Vernon. Who's contributing, one veteran, who's contributing with more than on the court performance for another vet that's less value to this young team. You're talking about Dorian Finney-Smith, I think. I would not.
No, I wouldn't.
I would not. Mike Chase, what's up, my friend? McKinley also says, makes no sense unless there was a first involved. I don't see why we don't just keep Conley because he's got value. He's got value.
Because, okay, yeah, he has value, but I think the deeper reason is he is aging out. He's not going to be here when you win a championship.
But to a team like the Clippers, and I know we've talked about this before, to a team like the Clippers, a guy like Mike Conley doesn't come with a huge price tag.
Mm-hmm.
A guy like Fred VanVleet, you're years into Fred VanVleet.
Yeah.
You would hope anyway. That's the only reason you'd make that deal. A guy like Mike Conley, look at the culture in L.A. He fits with Paul George. He fits with Kawhi.
Yeah. He
fits with a guy like Ivica Zubac because he makes them all better.
Yes.
And he still knocks down the three well, and he still penetrates really well. And when you have a guy like Kawhi and Paul George that knock down the three, man, that makes a lot of sense.
And Mike is team first. Mike is not a me guy. Mike is not an I guy. Mike is team first, Yeah, and whether that's making the star players better or, just leading the team as far as getting them an offense, like you understand that the Clippers haven't had that, right? Like the Clippers have had all this postseason success, right? And I know they haven't won championships and they're nowhere near the best team in the league, but they have had postseason success. You have won 7-game series. Like you've done some things here. But the reason you're not taking that next step is because you don't have the veteran point guard when you're down 5 with 3 minutes to go that says, okay, we can't get sloppy here. Stay in the set, work the offense, get PG at the elbow.
You don't have the point guard in John Wall or Reggie Jackson. And the biggest complaint about Reggie Jackson in LA has been the ball oftentimes doesn't wind up where it's supposed to go.
Yeah.
Like in the Jazz thing. You're in a close game and you're running post-ups for Rudy Gay.
Yeah.
You bring in Mike, and granted, Mike was part of those post-ups as well. But Mike in LA is going to make sure that Kawhi and PG have the ball when the game's on the line.
Mm-hmm.
And too often, Reggie Jackson and John Wall have not done that. And John's been injured. Reggie's hurt too. But Reggie Jackson's out of the rotation in LA, right? You're asking guys like Terrence Mann, frankly, to do a lot more on the ball. You're asking a guy like a Luke Kennard to do a lot more shit that they're not supposed to be doing. Excuse my French. Doing a lot more that they're not supposed to be doing. You need Mike Conley to come in there and say, give me the ball, I'm bringing it up. Let's run this set to get Kawhi that pin down screen, elbow jumper. Okay, we got our gimme bucket now.
Yeah.
Hey, let me break the paint, kick to Paul George on the elbow. He's going to knock down a three.
Yeah.
That's what this team has not had. And so I think that's why Mike Conley's of so much value. And he's on a non-guaranteed partial deal for next year.
So think about it. You had Conley. You had Mitchell Robinson. You're a different team now.
I think the Clippers, the Lakers, and the Dallas Mavericks are the teams I'd be watching for with Mike Conley. I think the Hawks, to a lesser extent the Hawks, I think the Heat, the Mavericks, and again, I will say, and I know everybody's telling me stupid, but I told you this last week about New Orleans with Malik Beasley, and all of a sudden now what yesterday got picked up by the national media. Oh, Mike Beasley, New Orleans. Like Malik Beasley, New Orleans. It's not surprising, right? Like there is this group of teams that we've been telling you about for a couple of weeks now. I'm telling you, Clippers, Lakers, Mavs on Mike Conley.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, Mavs, Heat, New Orleans.
New Orleans would
Malik
like to
Beasley.
move Devontae Graham and Jackson Hayes. Those are the two guys that they would like to.
Problem is Jackson Hayes is a loose cannon. He's had issues off the court, and he has been kind of a locker room problem for them.
And he's headed for restricted free agency this offseason.
Yeah. And what does that tell you?
Yeah.
That's a young big that they don't want to extend.
Finally, can we make quick note, because we need to get to comments. Want to hear from you guys.
You mean take note?
How badass would it be if the Jazz somehow, not that it's ever going to happen, keep dreaming.
If you say, go ahead.
But if they were to get Bones Highland,
okay,
I would be thrilled with that addition.
But how does that, and again,
and I agree with you on this.
How does that happen?
Yeah, it's got to be. It's not head up. It would have to be.
He'd have to be rerouted.
Four teams, eight players.
To me, he'd have to be rerouted to the Jazz. But Bones is a guy. When he's hot, he's hot. But when he's not, Bones is a guy. I'm telling you, man. If this team, God, dog, they'd have been close.
Yeah.
They'd have been close. Trey, what's up? Good morning. He says, Larry Pilgrim, thanks. I thought I was the only one for a second. Larry Pilgrim, what'd you say, man? I don't know what Larry said. Let's see. Ken Williams, good morning to you, sir. Hope you are warm. Dude, it is life-threatening cold.
Yeah.
In some of the northern states this morning. So Ken, be cool, man. I'm doing what I can to get Collins, a Collins-type player, without giving my superstars of the future plan of this team. I still maintain the Jazz are the best spot for John Collins.
Mm-hmm.
But that Phoenix deal falling apart, the Hawks, Jazz, and Phoenix had a deal. And Milwaukee has been so aggressive on Jay Crowder now that, you know, this is 10 days of Milwaukee really pressing to get Jay Crowder. And if you wind up making that deal, I think that's a real loss for the Jazz, because you're going to have to go find another team, because Phoenix is likely not giving up a first-round pick in that deal. But if you're the Jazz, man,
yeah,
you want Phoenix's first-round pick.
Yep.
That's another. Danny needs to, at this deadline, get another first-round pick in this year's draft.
Yeah.
That's the win. That's the marker at a minimum for me. That's the marker. Mesh, good morning to you. John Collins and Gary Trent Jr. seem like the best pieces to add. Gary Trent Jr. is a phenomenal defender.
But Toronto is a pain in the ass to deal with. That's the problem.
And does he fit the vaunted timeline?
The timeline.
He's kind of a role player.
Yeah.
So I don't know if he does. CM. Good morning to you, CM. Are you a first-timer here? I would love the Knicks to try go after OG depending on the price. Well,
yeah. I mean, listen, OG fits into a lot of different situations, right? Like, he's never been really a locker room issue. He's never been like some pariah or anything like that. So you don't have to worry about that with OG. And you know that he's got great defense and his offensive game has really grown. And he's young enough. I mean, you're talking about a guy that you could add to, in CM's case, the Knicks. And he would do some things. He would easily be able to guard the other team's best player. He would, I believe he's good for like 15 to 20 a night on 20 on his good nights, more like, 15 on the average night. But the point is if you can add that defense, like if you can stop, 5 to 7 points a game from going for the other team, that's going to be a win right there for you.
Is he ever a 20-point-a-night guy?
In the right situation, yeah.
I mean, he has gotten better every single year.
I mean, it's a matchup thing, honestly, because when you look at Toronto, like there's not a lot, with all due respect to Pascal Siakam and, Van Vliet, like OG's one of their better players.
Yeah, he's but he's a $20 million a guy at the end of this deal. Like, I mean, you owe him around $50 million, and That's a lot of money if I'm paying a guy $18 million. And I mean, I know geographically speaking, Toronto to New York is not that far of a jaunt, but it's a different world. I mean, you get to the Garden and Jimmy Dolan's talking about facial recognition.
Yeah, dude.
Like what? And what do the Knicks give up in that deal?
Facial recognition.
I'm not giving up multiple first-round picks for OG. Sorry, dude. Like I don't think
3 is excessive. I could see 2 in the right situation.
I mean, he's only 25 years old, but he's a clutch sports guy, so you're paying. But you're not going to have to deal with that for 2 seasons. You're going to get this season and next season.
I'm saying, if you're the Knicks, how bad do you want to win, dude? How bad do you want to win now?
That's a really important.
If you're not willing to go and make deals like this now, when will you be ready to make those deals?
Yeah,
I mean because if we're being
a good
honest,
question.
that's the difference. That's the difference between teams that truly want to contend now and teams that are okay going to the Eastern Conference Finals, right? That's the difference. Like, the difference is that you went over and above the cap, you spent the money, and you put a team together that really can come together and go on a run. I mean, that's how the league works. Because we've seen example after example of, hey, throw a team together and you're going to go and win championships unless, Dirk is on the other team and ended the Heat's dreams of winning a championship.
The problem, though, is, do you want R.J. Barrett or OG Anunoby? Because I think R.J. Barrett's probably right now today a better player.
Yeah.
Right?
Certainly offensively, he's a better player.
Yeah.
Defensively, there's questions, in my opinion.
He's shooting 35% from 3 on his career now. I mean, that's not an accident.
No.
And I think RJ's been a better player the last couple of weeks, last month. But I don't know. I look at OG's probably a better 3-point shooter. You're in Toronto with about 1,000 options.
But here's the thing.
If you swap OG Anunoby and RJ Barrett, aren't they the same player?
No. I
don't think so?
I don't think they're the same player. I think RJ's a better offensive player and a subpar defensive player. I think that OG, you're essentially swapping mindsets. You're getting a guy in OG that can guard the other team's best player and make life difficult. And then he's going to give you, what is he averaging? 16 points a night. Yeah,
but he's got so many options on that team, though. I mean, he's got to be the 37th option at some point.
Yeah, and so on the Knicks,
you know what I mean?
That's why I say on the Knicks, I feel like he'd be good for 20. I really do. I feel like he'd be good for 20, and you'd upgrade defense. So to me, I'm saying I'd rather have OG than RJ, but Nick fan is probably going to go with RJ, and I understand
they should.
that. I understand that.
They should. Mapes, what's up? Good morning. Mike Maples, a member of the program, says, didn't Danny sit and wait too long on some trades in Boston? He did.
Yeah,
he did. But I also think the power structure is completely different here. I mean, it's Danny and Ryan Smith, and from what I've been told by Jazz sources many times, Danny's got the autonomy to do what he wants. I don't know that he can just pull a trigger on a Jordan Clarkson trade.
Yeah.
I mean, but any good owner is going to be involved in conversations with his...
That concept has me laughing. Well, I don't know that he could pull the trigger on a Clarkson trade, but you want to trade Beasley, go ahead.
But Ryan is an emotional guy that gets attached to his players. He has as much said that. But the funny thing is, he's not attached to Rudy or Don. He's attached to Jingles and frickin' Jordan Clarkson.
Why?
Why? I don't know.
Dude, why?
It's amazing to me. I don't know. All of our NBA and Utah Jazz talk presented on the Monty Show by Quick Quack Car Wash. Best in the business, dude. Bottom line is, you roll into Quick Quack Car Wash. They're quick, they're efficient, and the wash is actually really good. And I think that gets overlooked sometimes when we're looking at car washes. They're quicker, but is the wash better? At Quick Quack, you get an efficient process. You're in and out of there in 5 minutes, and people can't stop and won't stop checking you out.
Okay, guys, I'm going to tell you the secret to impressing my neighbors, the wife, coworkers, you name it. I just swing by Quick Quack. It seriously takes 2 minutes, and people can't stop, won't stop checking me out. Getting a clean car is definitely my best life hack. Kids are messy, camping's dirty, but my truck sure isn't.
That's my dude, man. Can't stop, won't stop checking me out at Quick Quack Car Wash. Check them out. Make sure you tell them you heard about it on the Monty Show as we talk Utah Jazz basketball. And if you're just tuning in, there's been a lot made about the Utah Jazz and how hot they are to get Dorian Finney-Smith.
My name is Luca.
Well, Luca wants a deal, and I think the Jazz and the Mavs quite likely will make a deal. I don't believe that Dorian Finney-Smith is a guy that the Jazz are chasing.
Yeah.
I think Dorian Finney-Smith is a pretty mid-level 3-and-D guy in this league. He's 29 years old, and he just signed a 4-year extension, and I'm not here for that. I think you can do better, and by the way, it doesn't matter what pick you get from Dallas. Is that still going to be better than a Phoenix first-round pick? Is that going to be better than a pick that, hey, I'm going to move Jordan Clarkson to Atlanta. I'm going to get a first and a second for Jordan. Like, it just doesn't make that much sense to me.
Yeah.
And I think when you have a guy like Beasley and Clarkson that are in demand, I think you can do better than Dorian Finney-Smith. So I don't see that happening head up. If Dorian Finney-Smith winds up wearing the note on his chest, I would guess it has to be in a 3-team deal, and Danny Ainge is going to get at least one first-round pick.
Yeah.
So that's where we're at with the Jazz. They are off tonight, by the way, again. We believe, and we haven't confirmed this through sources, but the season came to an end because the Jazz haven't played in like a month.
Right, yeah.
So this must be like the summer break, right?
Yeah, that's stupid.
Jazz play tomorrow night against Toronto at Vivint Arena. Hey, don't forget, we're also trying to take you to a Utah Jazz game with us.
Yes.
On April 8th, the last home game of the year and the last game at Vivint Arena ever.
Yeah.
Before it reverts back to the Delta Center, which
the Delta Center
is amazing. But we're going to take you +1 to see the Jazz take on the Denver Nuggets. The Dad Bod God will be there.
Yeah.
Nugs and Jazz, you get 2 tickets. We'll buy you anything you want in the team store, and then we'll hang out and watch the game as the Jazz take on the Nuggets. In the last game ever at Vivint Arena, all you have to do is be subscribed to the channel, and we need to get to 11,000 subs. Now, yesterday was a pretty good day on this channel for subs. Our meteoric rise to 10,000.
Yeah.
We are now at 10,206.
Mm-hmm.
So we picked up about 40 subscribers yesterday, so thank you for that. Appreciate it. Let's keep getting your comments here on the NBA. McKinley Cutler. Also, just to clarify, I think the Jazz should trade Mike. I just don't think the Mavs have anything that the Jazz want. It would have to be a 3-team deal, in my opinion.
My name is Luca.
Well, they're not trading Luca for Mike, so
what?
I don't know what you're talking about.
What?
Brandon Butler, a member of the program, says Ryan is smart to let Danny operate. Danny can convince Ryan to do what is needed.
Well,
I think he can. Brett Robbins says they are checking your truck out, not you. What do you mean they're checking my truck out? I do have a nice car. That's unfair. CM says RJ is a far better slasher and a better playmaker, but a worse defender by a good margin.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think RJ is a better offensive player right now in his career. But I think the problem is, and this isn't to say RJ sucks, but I feel like he's lacking that top end offensive ability that makes him untradeable. That's the thing that I feel like right now.
I feel like RJ Barrett's soft. That's
yeah,
to me. RJ Barrett's soft, and I know Knick fans got all pissed off. We talked about this over the summer.
You just hate RJ. You're an RJ hater.
I'm just telling you, man. That's just the way I feel about it. Eddie Lozano, San Antonio real estate. Did you sell Jordan Clarkson his new house? New Big 12 schools will join in July. They will. Congratulations. That is a widely known fact. Ken Williams says Rudy Gay sucks. Too slow, can't shoot, running stats for him, and 23 wide open just standing there. Gay can't shoot anymore.
Oh, my God.
Plays horrible
dude.
defense. What value does he bring? Hey, I'm not saying that he does. I'm not saying that Rudy Gay brings value to a playoff team.
Bro, I like how he refers to Laurie as 23. Hey, douche, 23's wide open in the corner. Give it up.
Hey, idiot, pass it to 23. The finisher.
You fucking donkey.
That's why Ken Williams is amazing. I love it. I feel your vitriol towards Rudy Gay, Ken. Severe, what's up? He goes, get a fourth first round equals potential star player. Ding.
Yeah.
Even if they don't trade them this year, potentially you get a good young player that you can trade later for a star player. Well,
yeah, philosophical thing.
What did Lopes Van Gabe say?
Yeah.
Yesterday. All these assets are great, but at some point, a player's got to be made to win a game. And draft picks don't win games. I totally agree with that.
Yeah.
Anton, a member of the program, says Toronto wants 3 first-round picks for OG. Yeah, they do.
And I just don't think they're going to get that. This is very much the 2 first-rounders for JC thing. You're going to ask above market with 10 days or 9 days to go before the deadline so that you can negotiate down. It's the age-old top-down selling, hey, we're going to come to the middle on 2 first-rounders. That's what it is.
By the way, LeBron James is 117 points short of the all-time scoring record.
And allegedly has, a high level of ankle discomfort currently.
Get out of here. Yeah, that's only because you were pissed at the NBA. And he wants to play at the Garden. That's why he didn't play in Brooklyn. And that happens a lot to Brooklyn, by the way.
Yeah.
Because you play the Knicks and the Nets on back-to-backs.
Yeah.
And so you're not going to play at Brooklyn. You're going to play in the Garden. So that's not surprising at all, in my opinion. So, I don't know. I think, how big of a deal is this thing with LeBron breaking this record? Because I think it's a big, big deal. He's 117 points away.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, I'm all here for it.
Yeah.
I want to watch him break that record.
There's no question it's historical. I mean, I love these people who come in and they're like, oh, well, it's Bron. I don't care. It's
How can you not care?
I get it if you're not a Bron person, if you're not a Bron fan. I'm not even a Bron guy. I'm a Michael and Kobe guy. But I am is someone who respects, historical achievements. I mean, you're talking about someone who is about to break the all-time scoring record and likely someone who is going to set a record that will never be broken. I mean, you guys understand that this guy has essentially been bulletproof in his career from an injury standpoint, outside of a couple blips on the radar, and that's allowed him to do what he's done.
If LeBron wants to break that record at home,
at crypto,
he is 117 away. If you break that down, he would have to average 30 points a game in the next 4 games to break it against Oklahoma City. If he wants to do that at home, he could do it in 5 games, which is just 23.4 points a game.
He's going to do it against Milwaukee on TNT. You know that.
You said that yesterday, too.
You know that.
And it makes more sense to do it on national TV.
Why would you not do it on that? Dude, let's not be naive here. I know that Bron is no Michael Jordan, but he'll do. Right? I know that Bron is, not everyone's cup of tea, but this guy is smart, man. This guy is savvy. He will do it against Milwaukee at crypto on TNT. Guarantee it.
117 points to go. That's crazy. Brett Robbins says it took him 150 less games than Kareem. That's what makes it impressive. I think he just makes it impressive.
Yeah.
Hunt2 says, Monty, when LeBron passes Kareem, do you guys think he's the GOAT? We've got to stop doing this. You can't compare Michael to LeBron.
Yeah.
Because that LeBron foul the other night in Boston, or it wasn't a foul, excuse me. The LeBron no foul in Boston.
Yeah, where they swallowed the whistle at the most crucial point in the game.
That was not a foul in 1989.
No.
That was garden variety basketball.
Yeah.
The era is so different. LeBron gets so much more protection than Jordan ever got.
I'll drop that mother.
It's a different game. I truly believe Mike would average 40-something points a game right now. If he played in his prime today, Michael Jordan would be the unquestioned single greatest professional athlete we've ever seen because of the way they officiate the game today.
Yeah.
I don't see the need to compare Michael and LeBron.
Why can't we just sit here and be like, yeah, this is cool. This is really cool.
And I also think if you're going to compare guys, it's Kobe and LeBron. And I don't think there's a comparison. Kobe was a far better player. I've watched both of them. And for those of you that are new to the show, I covered Kobe and Shaq in L.A. with Phil and that run to those three-peats. And Kobe Bryant was a far more dynamic player than LeBron is. They did it completely differently. Kobe was a much more gifted shooter than LeBron is. But Kobe just has that assassin's mindset. LeBron's a great player.
Yeah.
And I will sit here and say it until I'm blue in the face. Appreciate greatness when you have it. Because what you're watching with LeBron is greatness. What you are watching with LeBron is unparalleled. Unparalleled. We've never seen a guy do what he's doing like this before.
Yeah.
Appreciate that. Appreciate it. Love it. Watch him tonight. Watch him at the Garden tonight, 5:30. Watch LeBron. Watch him every night. Make sure you do not miss the game where he breaks that record. I would give anything to be at crypto when that happens.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you, watch the guy because you know. Anyway, Eric says break the record at the Garden.
No.
Anton says the last time KD and LeBron played against each other was in December 25th, 2018.
Yep.
KD's had a lot of injuries, dude. Chaboy is struggling.
Yeah.
He'll be back after the All-Star.
I don't know that he's struggling. I think he's chilling. I think he's resting.
Yeah, he's just not
healthy.
healthy.
Smart. Yeah.
It's not healthy. It reminds me of when Emmett broke Walter's record. It's a big deal. Yeah, I remember one of the greatest moments of my childhood was watching Walter Payton break that record against New Orleans at Soldier Field in the snow. Bright sunshine day and snow. It was awesome. Let's see. He doesn't need explosive athleticism. He doesn't have explosive athleticism.
He's talking about RJ.
Yeah, well, I think he's soft. Brett Robbins, come on. See, and you guys listen. I think you know how much we care about each of our listeners. Cocaine use this early in the morning, man. You can't.
My name is Luca.
Brett, you can't be.
Yeah, dude, you got to chill out, man. Like
you can't be bumping rails at 7:45 in the morning.
Fucking A.
Because when you say things like Luca's
Come
the
on,
GOAT,
dude.
Donnie, you're out of your element.
Hallucinogens do bad things to your brain, dude.
Yeah, dude.
Jeremy Bolton says MJ would go 41-42 from the line every night he would.
Yep.
Yes, he would.
Yep.
That's exactly right, Jeremy.
Yep.
I mean, he would live at the line. Live at the line. Like Donnie. Donovan Mitchell makes his bread and butter at the line. Ken Williams, I don't care about LeBron. Could care less what he does. I love the no call to see the crybaby Lakers whine. Wow. Brett Burnett says, hit the like button. Yes, hit the like button. We've had just about 1,000 viewers on the program.
Right, the program.
And we are at 78 likes right now. So let's kick that into high gear, yo. Yo. CM says 150 less games and the advent of the three ball. Exactly right.
Wow, that's a great point. Yeah.
That's why I said you can't compare across generations.
Yeah.
Because what Magic and Larry did in the 80s, what Mike did in the 90s, what Kobe did in the early 2000s, the game's completely different.
Yeah.
It's just completely different. Brett Robbins says, do you guys think MJ would have upped his 3-game? Yeah, at the end of his career, he upped his 3-game. I think he absolutely would have. Jeremy says, I'll watch LeCarron break the record in both points and tears. Love it. Anthony Kobe says, LeBron is the best athlete, size, skill, and IQ to play in the NBA, but he ain't no Kobe or Jordan.
It's just different, dude. It's different.
He is a free safety playing guard forward in the NBA. I mean,
Yeah.
you got a great point there. Football 50 in 2 minutes. Kenai Johnson right now says, so is it the rings that makes you the GOAT or the all-around game?
I think it's total package.
Yeah,
dude.
Michael Jordan just was. I'm really lucky that I got to see all three of these guys play in person. When you look at Michael Jordan as a basketball player, he struck fear into people's hearts. Like he terrified people. Like these stories about, again, the LeBradford Smith game in Washington. Like at the old Chicago Stadium, LeBradford Smith had a career night and Michael Jordan really struggled to shoot the ball well. And Michael Jordan says that LeBradford Smith walked up to him, put his arm around him and said, hey, good game, Mike, and then walked off. Well, the problem for LeBradford was they played back-to-back. And they played the next night in Washington and Jordan went
medieval on your ass.
berserk. And just kept saying, hey, nice game, Mike. Well, I'm going to show him. And just absolutely demolished the Washington then Bullets at the time.
Yeah, dude.
And then was asked about it after the game, and Mike's like, yeah, I made it up. He never said that. That's who Michael Jordan was. Like, the guy is just a killer. People feared him. People respected him. Like, you just don't have that. I'm telling you, you just got to stop making that comparison. What's up, Riley O'Brien? my guy. Best RV sales in the business. Thumbs up reminder, y'all. If you haven't hit that button, let's thumbs up. Hey, Monty Show. Hey, Monty.
Hey, Monty.
Hey, Monty. How we doing? Are the Jazz still trying to get John Collins? They are. But I think now there's a lot more interest. Luka is the GOAT. Greediest of all time.
Stop.
Greediest. Not great. Greediest. Greediest of all time, he said. Steve Lopez, what's up, my guy? Good morning, guys. Great show so far. Got to get to work. Can't push it any later. Have a great day, Casual. Steve, appreciate you, man.
Yeah, you too, bro.
All right, 10 to the hour, every hour on the Monty Show.
The Monty Show.
Hey, Monty.
Hey, Monty.
It's football at 50, 10 to the hour, every hour. All right, let's do it. Let's get that Papa Murphy's order in. To get 25% off your order of $25 or more at Papa Murphy's Pizza. Should the 49ers go all in on Tom Brady? Now that Brock Purdy is out, did you guys hear the news?
Yeah.
Brock Purdy, the greatest quarterback in the history of the National Football League.
Right.
Brock Purdy needs elbow reconstruction surgery. He has a torn ulnar collateral ligament.
What is he, a baseball player?
He got hurt in the 7th inning of the 49ers playoff game. He got hit by Hassan Reddick, tore the elbow ligament, out 6 months. 49ers need a quarterback.
Yeah.
So if you're the 49ers, what do? Is Trey Lance the answer? Hell no.
Nah.
Do you re-sign Jimmy Garoppolo? Hell no. I think you go after one of two guys, Tom Brady or Derek Carr. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. I think, I know it's crazy. Oh, Derek Carr sucks.
He does.
Okay, well, it plays in the NFL. He doesn't suck. Derek Carr is the guy that you can plug in there and he's not going to kill you. He hasn't shown with the Oakland, Las Vegas Raiders that he's a franchise quarterback, but he's more than serviceable.
Right.
Or do you go all in on winning a Super Bowl next season and sign Tom Terrific?
Yeah, I'm going Tom Terrific all day on this. I'm putting off my quarterback issues for another 2 seasons. I'm going ring hunting, and I'm paying, buddy. I'm doing it.
I'm going ring hunting.
Like, know who you are and where you are. You're the 49ers. You've got one of the best defenses in football. You know, your tight end is out here talking about how it's shitty that he
Watch
lost
your
the
mouth.
NFC champion. Well, that's the word he used. Like, it's not my word, it's his word. Right? Like, that's what he used. Like, you know, so you got him out here saying that, hey, like, I don't, you know, I'm upset about it. And
how do you think George Kittle feels about the quarterback situation?
How's that feel to lose in the NFC Championship game because I don't have a quarterback? Pretty shitty, to be honest. Yeah, that's about it.
So that's the word he used, right? So technically, I'm quoting, buddy, right? When I say that's how he feels about it. So to me, I'm like, dude, like, screw all this nonsense. Sorry, Derek Carr. Sorry, Brock. Sorry, Jimmy G, Garoppolo guy. I'm going and getting Tom Brady, and we're going to go ring hunt, and we're going to let him do his work, in the Bay Area.
Teddy Wayman, the tile juggernaut, says, yeah, pay Tom and watch the rings come. Teddy. Eric and Raleigh says, Tom Brady on a minimum contract to the Niners. Would you pay him a minimum contract, though?
No.
I mean, I think...
Pay him in the 20s. That's what he wants.
So what do you do with Trey Lance? I mean, he's a bust, right? Like, Trey Lance is...
Move along.
You just let him be your number 2 and
just
hope
let him sit on
there
the
at
bench
some point.
Let him sit on the bench till that rookie contract is up and say, see you later.
By the way, you also might want to get an offensive line that can protect.
Yeah, I mean, just a thought. Just a thought.
I mean, I know that's crazy, but you got to sign McGlinchey back at a minimum. So we'll see about that. Brandon Butler says, Tommy, with that defense and all those offensive pieces, go out winning one for your childhood team. Kind of a perfect story.
Yeah.
See, I agree with that.
Yep.
I agree with that.
Yep.
I just don't like saying Tom Brady. TB12, Tommy.
Gisele's bunched in.
How about the fact, and we played it on the show last week, on Let's Go!
Let's go!
His podcast he does with Jim Gray every week. How about the fact that Tom Brady said the divorce impacted him last year and it was really hard to focus on football?
How could it not? How could it not?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. By the way, here on Football 50, you know we like to talk about announcers, right? Is Tony Romo overrated? Because there are some people that really can't stand Tony Romo.
Why do we hate Tony Romo? What's the deal? Why is he so bad at what he does?
I don't think he's bad at what he does. He's just not as good at it as he was when he first came out of the box. And I'm more anti-Jim Nance than I am Tony Romo. But the problem is my guy, the former Chicago Bear. Monsters of the Midway.
Yeah.
Greg Olson's been spectacular.
Yes.
And I would much rather listen to Greg Olson than Tony Romo.
Well, we'll see. I mean, give Greg Olson 3 years and let's see where he's at. Like, I think that right now today, Greg Olson's probably more enjoyable.
But who's supposed to be the lead game analyst for Fox? Tommy!
Yeah.
When Tommy's done playing, he's supposed to be their lead analyst.
He's that
Hell
guy.
No.
I'm him, me,
That's
Burrowhead.
me. Yeah, Burrowhead this and Giselle's Bunchton.
Yeah.
Tom Brady should not be their lead analyst. Greg Olson's the best color analyst in professional football right now. Like, I thought he was really good. Really, really good. That's where I would go. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you guys like Tony Romo? Brett Robbins says, Romo is the Rudy Gay. They suck and need to give it to 23. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Or in this case, 12.
How does Ken Williams start a trend of calling Larry Markkinen 23 now all of a sudden?
Dude.
Are you serious? Let's go. Geoff says Tony Romo can't hide his bias during games, especially on 49ers games. He's terrible. He's terrible.
Yeah, but Geoff, weren't you the same guy saying the officials stole the game? Am I getting that wrong? Was that your
wrong.
take?
No, that was Sean Mierzinski.
Oh, that was Mierzinski. Okay.
No, I'm not falling for your ridiculousness with officials.
What?
I am not doing that, you cat prowler.
Well, there was holding on the final play where they committed that penalty on Mahomes, and that play should have never happened.
Greg Olson is the best color analyst in football, and I think Tommy should wind up being a studio guy, but you don't pay Tom Brady to be like your number 2 analyst. So I don't know. That's just me.
Yeah.
Jeff vehemently denies your slander and says, no, that wasn't me.
Okay, Jeff.
Ken Williams, who's freezing cold somewhere in the plains, says 23, baby.
Yeah.
Jeremy Bolton says, LOL, Fat Jesus, who says 49ers should trade for Murray. Please take Murray from it. Is Kyler Murray a bust? I don't think he's a bust yet.
Nah, I'm saying he's a bust.
You're saying he's a bust already?
I'm saying that you had all this talent around you. You didn't get it done. You got 2 head coaches fired. You now tore your ACL. And you're probably not going to be able to get Sean Payton hired.
Okay.
Just saying.
Okay. Okay. By the way, no. The Bronco job is not a good job. Stop saying that. There was a huge debate on my Twitter feed yesterday. Oh, the Denver Broncos job, horse face Elway. Did you see the size of his teeth? How can they not win? The Denver Bronco job is not a good job. Stop it. Stop it.
If Sean Payton gets hired there, is it a good job?
Apparently. I'm not taking that job. I'm not. And by the way, if I'm Sean Payton, you need a job now. You need a job now. Because stupid fathead kept his job in Dallas. So you're not getting the Cowboy job. You got to take the Bronco job.
Yeah. I guess.
Right? I mean, it's amazing to me that they hired Frank Reich in Carolina.
Yep.
Don't know how that happened. But you got to take the Bronco job. I don't know.
You want something to be pissed about? Be pissed about this Jeremy Bolton comment right here.
This one?
No, the one right there.
Zachy Poo or Murray?
Come on, Jeremy.
Bullet.
We get it. You took out your dozer and stirred the pot with that one.
Nah, bro. Zachy Poo's a bust. Zachy Poo's a bust. Absolutely. Football 50-10 of the hour every hour on a Monty Show.
Hey, Monty.
Hey, Monty. Presented by Papa Murphy's Pizza. Do you know how many people say that to me? Hey, aren't you Monty?
Did the guy in the bathroom say that to you?
No, hey, you're Monty, aren't you?
You do the Monty Show.
Bro. Speaking of marinara meatballs, make sure you get the marinara meatballs at Papa Murphy's Pizza, because the marinara meatballs is where it's at.
Monster trucks, monster value. The all-star.
Monster Trucks is good too, but you know.
At Papa Murphy's, we do more than just pizza. We do meatballs and marinara.
Actually, I do the meatballs and marinara.
And how do you do it, Dad?
How do I do it? How do I do it?
Order now at papamurphys.com.
That almost never happens.
No, but we just have so.
Yeah, there's a lot in there.
It's fine. Anyway, get the marinara meatballs. Download the Papa Murphy's app. Use promo code Monty25 because, again, I'm telling you, the marinara meatballs, they're Italian beef meatballs.
Yeah.
You understand? They're Italian beef meatballs. I'm fat. Take my word for it. They're good.
Yeah.
But I think the thing, like the cheese that permeates those meatballs.
Right.
If you felt these balls,
they get cheese inside. I don't know how they do it.
You know.
I don't know. And homie in the kitchen knows, but I don't know.
Yeah, buddy in the kitchen knows what he's doing.
Buddy. I love it. Make sure you get the marinara meatballs. So traditional crust, right? Barbecue sauce. Are you guys in on the barbecue sauce or what? Have you guys tried? I know. Come on. It was family home evening last night. Don't tell me you didn't get Papa Murphy's. Tell me.
Does Knicks fan know what family home evening is?
Don't ask either. The point is, you know that you tried that barbecue sauce. You know you did. And you know you did. The barbecue sauce is where it's at. I'm telling you right now. Riley O'Brien says, buddy at Papa Murphy's runs a tight program. Yes, he does.
Program.
Yes, he does.
Well done, dude.
Damn it. I'm never going to live that down. Monty is still thinking about the halftime show with those big golden girls. LOL. Exactly. Teddy Wayman says barbecue sauce is the best on Papa Murphy's.
Let's go. See? Teddy gets it.
By the way, Teddy. And I don't know why I want Teddy to be proud of me, but you know, okay. I did 3 full minutes in the cold shower this morning. I did 3 full minutes in that cold shower.
Yeah.
And you know, the other thing that I think is so fascinating, besides the fact that Nike is pissing me off by dropping amazing Jordans today, that I am not allowed to buy. My wife will divorce me. Her and her cute hair.
You know.
Oh, good. They're golf. Screw them. Do you know the amount of money I'm going to put into golf this year? My guy Darren up at the Canyons.
Yeah, dude.
Dude, you better get ready because I'm not good. Anyway, the point is, while we're knocking people off of the cabriolet at Canyons Golf this summer.
Bro, do you know how far right you'd have to hit that thing?
Try me. By the way, did we tell you guys that? The Canyons Golf up in Park City is our golf course now. Those guys are awesome. And the course is, I think, arguably the nicest course in Utah. The work they've done just on the greens alone. But the carts have GPS. I cannot wait to play there this summer.
How many of us golf?
How many are you?
Golf,
yeah, get
dude?
in the comments.
Yeah.
Are you guys golfers?
Do you guys golf?
Let's go.
What's the deal?
Let's play some golf this summer up at Canyons together. They're going to be part of our Big 5-0 Monty birthday bash coming up March 10th.
Yes.
With Max Tooley and Brant Keithy will both be there. Gabriel, what's up? Good morning. Teddy Wayman says, hell yeah, hello. Hell yeah, Monty. Today is day 19 straight days for me. Wow. Awesome. Preston says, it's like 2 degrees outside. Do you know how cold the water is? You boys have some balls. Cold showers. Shrinkage. But it makes a difference, dude. The cold shower thing is real.
Yeah, it is.
The cold shower thing makes a difference. I am sleeping so much better. And again, Sunday, I had the best back workout that I think I've had in... I can't remember having a back workout like that. Like, you know,
what does that mean?
Do you know when when you get a workout and like all different parts of your back are just like lit? It was awesome. It was awesome. Traps, rear delt, like It was unbelievable.
We're getting somewhere.
And just, oh man, you know when you're lifting and you're just killing it, and you're just in it.
Oh my God!
Man.
Just like that.
Oh, dude, seriously, it was crazy. Teddy says I had to break ice out for 10 minutes before I got in yesterday, and it was windy.
Oh, dude, you are.
Ooh. Brandon Butler says I haven't swung the stick since my dad passed. Well, we got to change that.
Yeah, dude.
San Diego State says I golf not nearly enough, but yeah, let's go.
Let's go.
Roger Sales says golf, do a charity golf tournament. We could absolutely do that. Eric and Raleigh says, Monty, channel your inner Nolan Richardson for the cold plunge and go 40 minutes of hell.
Bro, what are you...
Dude, a 40-minute cold plunge?
What are you talking about?
I don't know that certain parts of the body would ever recover from that. Mr. Preston says it's 2 degrees outside. Do you guys know how cold the water is? Yeah, I do. Yeah. Tyler Edit says, yeah, this weather blows. Dude, it is cold out.
Yeah.
It is cold out, absolutely. Snowing over the weekend, terrible.
Guys, you know that we're in the middle of this thing called winter, right? Like it's winter right now.
Dude, I don't mind the snow at all. But dude, it was 4 degrees in my car this morning. You know how you just look at the thermometer in your car and your butt just clenches?
Yes.
Dude.
Yes.
It was 4 degrees this morning. Come on. Arlington Bears says, I live on the 18th at Talon Cove. Have not played in 3 years. Oh, bro.
Come on now.
Come on, man. Teddy says, Alma did 13 minutes, so I did 14 minutes on set. 13 minutes?
Bruh, why are you guys sitting in the water so long, dude?
Dude. Oh, Jeremy, be nice. Don't be nice. It's officially as cold as Rudy Gay's shooting. Greg Hale says, my wife and I went to work out at 24 Hour Fitness. She was sweating from hot yoga, and her hair froze before we got to the car.
Wow.
Is that true?
Wow.
Gabriel says, I didn't know you guys were golf fans. I love playing golf.
Yeah, golf is a good time, dude.
I love playing golf.
See, you guys got to ask questions, right? You got to ask. I mean, golf isn't something we talk about a lot right now, but, you know.
Eric and Raleigh says, invest in heated seats. I have heated seats.
Oh, yes.
The only thing Klaus, which is what I named my Audi SQ5, the only thing Klaus does not have is remote start. My Jeep, the Rubicon, has remote start, and it is lovely. You click that button twice, let it run for 5 minutes. You get in there, the seat's heated, the steering wheel's heated, that thing's ready to go.
Yep.
It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Jeremy Bolton says, invest in a shooting coach for Rudy Gay. See what he did there? This Showgram. I am the last Showgram. It was a Shogun. Anyway, okay. This show is presented by The Advocates, theadvocates.com. The best injury attorneys in the business are The Advocates. Make sure you get online. You can chat with an attorney right on their website. There's a little button that says talk to an attorney 24/7. You can do that. Click that button. There's no cost to talk to an attorney because there's never a cost for consultations. There's no big upfront retainers. You don't pay The Advocates until they win your case. That's how confident they are at The Advocates, that they can represent you and get the result that you deserve, because you didn't deserve to get in that accident. If some dude is on his cell phone and he hits you because he's not paying attention, or you slip on a sidewalk that wasn't taken care of, you didn't deserve that. But what you do deserve is to be made whole. You deserve somebody to fight for you. That's why you go to The Advocates, theadvocates.com. Make sure you tell them you heard about it on the Monty Show. Fat Jesus says, how do they get the cheese out of the balls? Oh, man.
If I knew what I was going to fucking do, I'd have already done it.
I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. Jeremy Bolton says, hey, Monty, welcome to the Showgram program. Do not start with, oh, hey, Monty.
Hey, Monty.
Hey, Monty.
Monty.
Monty, can we get a shout out for Bethany?
Facial recognition.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly right. Geoff says, day on the golf course with a few people there, or day at a packed ballpark. Monty, what's your pick? Both?
Yeah, it depends on the ballpark, bro.
Let me get 9 before I go to the ball game, and most ball games are at night.
That is a good point. Because we're such early risers, I could easily see getting 9 in before the day gets going.
That's what I'm saying here on the Monty program.
Yeah.
The
Showgram.
Ken Williams says golf sucks unless it's Happy Gilmore.
Well,
are you the steer roping guy though? You're like, okay, time to go rope him up. Ken's got like a ranch and stuff.
Well, okay. I mean, you know,
how far right now? I hand you a PXG driver.
Maybe what? 250? Maybe.
Stop! I can fart a golf ball 250. Are you kidding me?
There's no way. Okay, just how far we can hit it. We're not trying to keep it in a fairway. We're not trying to keep it straight.
Grip it and rip it, bro.
Yeah, I could probably get 3. I think 300
Yeah,
probably.
Come on, man. I think I could. Louis Capazzo says, wet hair freezing is one thing. I consider it cold when the boogers freeze in your nose.
Bro, Louis, dude.
Okay. Now we're into boogers here on the showroom. All right. I mean, you know, it okay. It is what it be. I just, you know. Okay. Where do you want to go? You guys want to talk NBA? You want to talk Pac-12 TV? You know, like, I think this Pac-12 thing is a big story.
Yeah.
Have I understated the importance of the Pac-12?
I don't know that you've understated the importance, but I think that people, like, we never realize how important something is until the Pac-12 gets dissolved, let's say. Right? Until the Pac-12 just doesn't exist anymore and you know, they merge with the Big 12 or, you know, whatever the case may be. I mean, you just, like, I don't think you've undersold how important it is. I think people are still catching up to just how dysfunctional this conference is and just how much of an issue it is that they don't have a TV deal. And furthermore, that there is a big time difference in philosophy. That is a big problem for this conference. And I look at this situation and I just say, man, like, how long are you going to sit here and deal with this, you know, situation? Like, at some point, I would think that you would come together and just say, okay, what direction do you guys want to go? Like, have everybody sit around a table. What direction do we want to go? Take a vote on it, and that's that. Like, that's how business gets done, because there's always going to be a difference in opinion, but I just think that you have to make progress. Everyone else has a TV deal. Everyone else has distribution. Everyone else is secure in that distribution. So what are we doing besides letting the conference basically get shredded to pieces while you guys sort of negotiate and do back of the envelope calculations and watch USC and UCLA walk out the door? That's the issue here. That's the problem. And that's frankly the shame in the whole thing, because the Pac-12 is actually good on the football field. Like, you know, you've got Utah, you've got Oregon, like, you've got Washington, you've got some good programs here, but they're just not in a position to be successful. And that's what's annoying.
Yeah, I think one of the interesting storylines on this Pac-12 deal is that they're just divided. This conference, I think this is a real seminal moment, if you will, for this conference, because I think there is a significant amount of division about what a TV deal should look like. I think there are, you know, a minimum of 4 TV industry sources told us yesterday, 4 schools, Oregon, Washington, and the Arizona schools, are not on board with streaming being a tier 1 distributor. And that Amazon having the biggest games every week in the Pac-12 football season is not something that Oregon, Washington, and the Arizona schools are on board for. And if those 4 schools are not on board, it doesn't matter what the other schools want, because it's not going to happen. I think Washington is arguably right now the most powerful school in the conference. I think that when you look at Washington and Oregon and Arizona State, I think those are 3 of the most powerful schools in the entire conference. And I think a lot of the other schools are along for the ride. And I think when you look at where conferences like the Big 12 are, you look at where the Big 12 is in basketball, I don't see how that's not where Arizona wants to end up. And I understand there's a lot of hyperbole here and whatnot, but the conversation is not about a Pac-12 TV deal. The conversation's about Pac-12 survivability.
Yeah.
Because when you start looking at some of these numbers, Jake, and you start realizing that the Pac-12 is financially destitute at this point, because our sources also are telling us the current deal on the table is $25 million per school per year on average. And that doesn't mean that every school is getting $25 million.
Yeah.
That means that the deal's worth $250 million a year for 7 years.
Note the verbiage is on average.
Because what that means is Oregon and Washington are going to get more of that money than Arizona, Utah, than Oregon State, Washington State. They're going to get a bigger slice of the pie. So if you are Utah, are you guaranteed $25 million a year in this TV deal? You're not.
And what are you going to do about it if you don't get the money you think you deserve? Like, that's my problem. Like, you're not going to be able to get to the Big 12 just as soon as you want to. You're not going to get to the Big 10. I don't think you're fit for the Big 10.
Yeah.
The SEC's out of the question. And the ACC's out of the question. So you're left with one option. That doesn't work.
I just don't know how you fix this. That's the other thing that you have to recognize is that the money's not there. There is not unity here. George Kliavkoff, I think, has been a wild failure as a unifier and a builder.
Yeah.
I don't know how you fix this. And the bigger question is, what's the best case scenario? If you're the Pac-12 and you are the Pac-12 members of this conference and you're the 10 remaining schools, what are you fighting for? Have you thought about that? What is the best case scenario? My opinion, the best case scenario is you add San Diego State and Boise State.
Yeah.
Now you're back to 12 teams. Okay. Okay. Are you in any better place financially than you are before you added San Diego State and Boise State? Probably a little bit. You probably, with San Diego State, you probably get to $30 million because it delivers you something south of Palo Alto, south of the Bay Area.
How about that?
So it gives you something in Southern California.
Yeah.
But you still don't have Los Angeles. You don't have the Central Valley, which is why I continue to say there's value in Fresno State. And I know that people are like, oh, you're stupid. You don't know it. Okay, cool, man. Don't add Fresno State. Where are all of the people, all of the Utah fans last week who were pounding me on Twitter saying San Diego State sucks? Okay, don't add San Diego State. Give me the solution then. If you don't want Fresno State and San Diego State, who do you want? Because I got news for you. The 10 teams you have aren't viable.
Yeah.
There's not prosperity in the 10 teams you have. Utah, with all due respect, Utah fan, you don't have the sway. You don't have the pull to make this conference go. You're not the motor that drives it. You're on for the ride, man. Or right now, Oregon and Washington are the motor driving this conference.
Yeah, 100%.
Period, point blank. Like, that's why I say you can get here and you can be pissed and you can be incredulous. You need San Diego State. And furthermore, I go a step further and say you need SMU.
Yeah.
I've been telling you that since August.
That's the one that pisses people off. People, for some reason, have something with SMU. But I think if we hit pause and we spend a moment on this Utah thing, like this Utah branding thing and Utah not being like some juggernaut in the social media game, not being nationally relevant regularly and consistently, that is a real issue for this conference. Because if you look at the power and we start talking about how this revenue is going to be, cut up, if you will, like Oregon and Washington are going to be, 1 and 2. Then I'd expect Utah to be 3 and Arizona State to be 4. That's what I would expect. But if Utah was 4 and Arizona State was 3, would anyone really be that surprised? Like from a branding perspective, from a national relevancy perspective, like I know that Arizona State hasn't done a damn thing in football and really hasn't done anything in anything. But you moved on from Herm. You got all these great new hires. You have all this momentum in your program. Things are moving. We haven't even touched on Prime at Colorado yet. So that's what I'm saying. Like, Utah fan has to be open to the idea that maybe it's time for a move. And my biggest concern and my biggest worry is that Utah as an institution has, and the Pac-12 generally shares this, but you have this like holier than thou, this we're better than you, this we're above any issue mentality that has got you here. Are you really going to keep dying on that hill to the point where your conference fizzles out and the Big 12 is left to come in with their shop vac and clean it up? You like that? It just doesn't need to get there. And I feel bad because we talk Utah on the show daily in season, right? Like Utah's a big part of our program, and yet here we are.
Yeah, I don't think that Utah has a say, and it's hard, but I don't think that Utah controls its destiny. I don't. I think if the Pac-12 comes apart, let's say worst case scenario, the Pac-12 folds. And I think that happens with Washington and Oregon leaving for wherever. Utah needs help. I mean, Utah needs help. If the Pac-12 conference went out of business today, there would be an all-out brawl for Washington and Oregon. An all-out brawl. Frankly, for Oregon, Washington secondarily, and then I think it defaults to Arizona State and Arizona.
But if you think about that, like that's a really interesting point. So right now, right, like if you're Oregon and Washington, you're not incentivized to do some half-ass streaming deal. You're not incentivized to take.
But wait, hang on. It's not a half-ass streaming deal. You need to get on board with this. Amazon is the only option for streaming. You need to understand that. Hulu, Netflix, YouTube TV, they're not an option for you. They're not.
Why do you say that? Because
YouTube TV has spent billions on the NFL Sunday ticket, and I think it's a proving ground for them. I think YouTube TV wants to know if it can be DirecTV. That's, in all honesty, because I've been told repeatedly that DirecTV is putting all of their resources into becoming a streaming platform, that they are moving towards stream 100%. And they should. They absolutely should. But I'm telling you right now, today, when the 2024 football season rolls around, the only option for the Pac-12 that will then be the Pac-10 is to be on Amazon Prime Sports if they want a streaming deal. Because you can't right now. And I know that we don't have sources and we don't know what the hell we're talking about. And trust me, bro.
Yeah.
We get it. Where are you going to go? Fox has told you they're not interested in your biggest, best games. Fox Sports has said we're out on Tier 1. Who told you that? Who told you that first? We did in September, I believe. We then told you first. ESPN has told the Pac-12, we're not vying for your Tier 1 games. We're not going to compete against Amazon. We don't view Amazon as a competitor. We are ESPN, TV.com plus. That's what you get with ESPN. And by the way, I'd also remind you, who owns ESPN? Disney owns ESPN. They're going to spin ABC and ESPN off of Disney, by most people's opinions. So do you think that ESPN's just got, screw it. Let's offer them $400 million. You think ESPN's got just screw it money lying around? They don't. They don't. And ESPN's brilliant because they don't need the Pac-12's best games. You know what they need? They need the parents of the rest of the schools and the fans of the rest of the schools to sign up for an ESPN Plus subscription so that they can watch their kid play football in the ESPN app.
Yeah.
That's all they need. And here's the other problem. And nobody wants to talk about this because, again, we don't have sources and we don't know what we're talking about. Do you really think that Amazon Prime Sports is going to be thrilled if ESPN is streaming games? I'm telling you they're not going to be thrilled. They're not. Why would they? The only place you should, if you're Amazon, the only place that you should be able to get Pac-12 football games is on our stream in Prime Sports, period.
Facts.
Where's ESPN fully invested right now? The .com, the app, and Plus. Because they're not leveraged on TV anymore. Everybody's talking about cord cutting. Do you know where everybody's going? Everybody's going to YouTube TV.
Yeah.
Do you understand that one of their most in-demand channels on YouTube TV is ESPN? ESPN has recovered from the cord-cutting phase. They're a money-making machine again. I'd also remind you, they don't need the Pac-12. They've got the SEC. They don't need, they would like to have Tier 2 programming. They would like to have Pac-12 basketball, Pac-12 football. But they're not interested, in my opinion, and from what sources have told me, point blank, ESPN's not going to compete against Amazon for Tier 1.
Nope.
So where's the Pac-12 going to go? That's what you don't want to admit, Utah fan or Pac-12 fan. no matter what the homers tell you in the conference,
yeah,
where are they going to go? Can they go to NBC? They can't. Can they go to Fox? They can't. Fox is straight up pulled out of Tier 1 negotiations. I think Fox would like some Pac-12 basketball. I think Fox would like some lower level Pac-12 football. But do they need it? They don't. And by the way, do you really think that Fox wants Tier 1 and they want to compete against their biggest partner in the Big Ten at NBC and Paramount or NBC and Peacock? See, because nobody thinks about that either. Who owns the Big Ten network? Fox. Who's got Pac-12 after or Big Ten after dark? NBC and Peacock. Do you really think that Fox is looking for Tier 1 Pac-12 rights to put on Pac-12 after dark against their biggest partner in the Big Ten network?
No.
Come on.
Nope.
Are you kidding me? Like, where is the Pac-12 going to go?
Yeah, and I think the trouble is like, okay, if the Pac-12's not going anywhere, where are these schools going to go? Which inevitably leads us right back down the same path of, hey, the Big 12 and some of these other conferences need to consolidate. It just is what it is.
Yeah, San Diego State says you want to piss some folks off. Read J.D. Wicker's comments 3-4 days ago. He's the AD at San Diego State. I didn't see what he said. What did J.D. Wicker say? San Diego State. Eric and Raleigh says Comcast is just lowering the payment to cover the debt. They are. It's not like the Pac-12 has to give a check to Comcast. Comcast is going to lower that payment, so less revenue is going to come in. So we're just sitting here waiting for a Pac-12 TV deal to be announced.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you. The Big 12 did the unequal revenue sharing. All it did was create animosity and instability. Washington and Oregon don't have the same clout to dictate terms to the Pac as Texas and OU did to the Big 12. Au contraire.
Yeah, you're just not correct on that.
Au contraire.
Yeah.
Washington. I am of the belief that Oregon and Washington run the conference. They do. That's the reality of it. And I think ASU would be third on that hierarchy. But I think the loudest critic of the Pac-12 networks is the president of Washington.
Yeah.
She has been vocal that she wants to slash the investment that they are putting into Pac-12 networks. And I think Pac-12 networks as a channel is not going to exist. You know what I think is going to happen? I don't think the Pac-12 will be distributing football and basketball games. After this current deal is up, I think I could see a situation where they do baseball, where they do gymnastics, where they do all those secondary sports, swimming, water polo, lacrosse,
pickleball,
all those, that's where the Pac-12, and I don't think they're going to have a network to do that. I still maintain they are going to create content, but I think it's going to be very much like hey, stream it on our website. This is streaming at Pac12networks.com.
Yeah.
That's what I could see it being. I do not believe that it will be something more than that. I truly don't. And I just think that Washington, because Oregon doesn't, and a guy on Twitter, I can't remember who it was yesterday, was telling me that Oregon doesn't have a president. I get it. Oregon's still got more money than everybody else, period. So Ken Williams says, I canceled Hulu yesterday.
Okay.
Hulu is trying to get into the sports biz a little bit. Why'd you do that, Ken? Fat Jesus, best case for the Pac-12 is to invent a time machine and return to 1986. The band's on the field.
And that's the other thing, for me anyway, is like it never needed to be here. We never needed to get here. We never needed to have this conversation. We never needed to, like, if you'd have just handled your business, like, just done business normally, like every other conference, you should have never been here. And I really feel like the conference changed for the worse after the Reggie Bush, Pete Carroll, USC days. That, to me, is like a benchmark in time. Not that that's related to a TV deal, but it just feels like after that, the conference was different.
You didn't have the hammer
that
USC football was back in that day. You didn't have the hammer. And you've never had the hammer. Has there been a program in the Pac-12 since Pete Carroll took his bazooka bubblegum to Seattle? Has there been a program of that level in the Pac-12?
Not really, no.
USC's never been the same. UCLA is UCLA. Oregon is probably the juggernaut. Chris Peterson had some run at Washington, right? So you had some but you never had the dynasty. You've never had
Alabama of the Pac-12.
You've never had Carson Palmer and Matt Leinart and Reggie Bush and Lindale. You haven't had that guy. And that's where the conference died.
Yeah.
And it has never come back to life.
100%.
And you know what? Like when you're a conference, you want to feel like a man, which is why you shop at Barbecue Pit Stop so that you can touch and feel the best equipment in barbecue, right?
I'm a man.
It's why you shop at Barbecue Pit Stop, bbqpitstop.com, so you can get that asado seasoning right in the palm of your hand for your meat.
I'm going to do that.
You know, like I feel like that's why you shop at a place like Barbecue Pit Stop. Anyway, my point is, when you hear the words Barbecue Pit Stop, best barbecue equipment in the business.
So get your facts straight.
That's what you need to think. Barbecue Pit Stop, best barbecue equipment in the business. Where am I going to get that Traeger Ironwood 885 that Monty's got? Oh, Barbecue Pit Stop. Where do I get Traeger? Barbecue Pit Stop.
Facts.
But I like that Yoder. Hello? I like that Yoder. Yoder makes some amazing equipment.
Yep.
Barbecue Pit Stop.
Yep.
But I just need a pizza oven. Barbecue Pit Stop. I just need some pellets. Barbecue Pit Stop.
I'm for real.
I just need some seasoning. Wing Dust. Do you know how good? Have you tried Wing Dust? Does anybody? Wing Dust is a game changer. Get the Wing Dust. Get the asado.
Do it.
You're set for life.
I'm for real.
I'm going to go home today, and I'm going to make pork chops and eggs for lunch.
Yeah.
I cannot wait because I'm going to use the asado seasoning in the eggs. Creme de la creme, brother.
Yeah.
It's going to be amazing at Barbecue Pit Stop. bbqpitstop.com. Equipment, seasoning, rubs, spices, Wing Dust, your mom. It's amazing. BarbecuePitstop.com. bbqpitstop.com. It's been a day. I don't know. I have so much energy. I'm telling you, the cold showers, I just have so much more energy in the morning.
Yes.
You know. bbqpitstop.com or get to any of their 5 Utah locations. Logan, Layton, Lehigh, the Jeezy. What's up, St. George? Good to see you guys this morning. And, of course, our friends in Murray on State Street across from the mall. It's where you get Barbecue Pit Stop. Ken Williams says, I let Jake know in the group why I canceled it was because too much issues. It's personal. Okay.
Okay, so let's see. We're going to go to the group here.
Gage Carter says Jazz should draft Amoni Bates. I don't disagree. Amoni Bates is amazing. Kurt Meyer says, while you guys abandoned us during Christmas, Greg Hawkins explained Utah would lose $100 million a year in research grants if they leave the Pac-12. Well, if the Pac-12 collapses or is on the verge of collapse, I don't necessarily believe that to be the case.
But you're telling me that if they go to the Big 12, they're not going to have the same...
I think people believe that okay, well, Utah left for the Pac-12. Hey, what are they going to do with where the school used to be up on the hill? Like, that's really valuable land. Are they going to redevelop it? Because they moved the football stadium.
Yeah, can we expand the avenues, or what are we doing with that?
They broke the football stadium down and put it in the back of a moving van, right? And the Huntsman Center they put right on top of the moving van, and they just drove their ass out to the Big 12.
That's right, T.
Like, you guys understand they don't, move. They're just they sign a piece of paper, and now all of a sudden we're in the Big 12.
Yeah, now we can paint the field different colors, and we're getting different teams and stuff.
Come on. Ken Williams says, that seasoning is so yummy on chops. Asado seasoning. Have you guys had the Flavor Knuckles asado seasoning yet? Dude, you have not lived.
Yeah, go get it,
bbqpitstop.com.
And they will ship. You got to call them, but they will.
They will ship to your front door, yeah. bbqpitstop.com. Flavor Knuckles asado seasoning.
Yeah.
I put it on eggs, pork chops, tomatoes,
potatoes,
pancakes. I don't. You know what Mrs. Monty has been doing? Mrs. Monty has been making banana cupcakes with pancake mix. The
Dilly.
I know what you're talking about.
The high protein pancake mix.
Kodiak.
It's so good. It is so good. I mean, it's amazing. You guys should do it. Let's see. Edward Wayner says, think of the people watching SEC on their big TV and Pac-12 on Amazon on their phone. Why? Because fans will want to change between the big you want to watch Alabama and Mississippi State. And then, but by the way, Utah and USC, USC's...
That's
USC
right,
and Ohio State are on in the Big Ten, but
That's what I'm saying.
Washington and Arizona are. But what? Nobody wants to watch that game. Oregon and Utah are playing in the Pac-10. Are you going to flip between ABC and then? Well, let me go and start the app, and then I got to sign in, and then I got to say who's watching.
Your phone. Think about this on your phone because I think it's a fair point. And this is why I was kind of harping on this Amazon streaming deal a little bit, because even if you do go with Amazon, a YouTube TV customer who is out in the world, let's say at Costco, but wants to stream that while they shop, they're not going to flip between apps. You know what happens when you flip between apps on your phone, right? You understand what the consequence of that is. The stream stops on whatever app you're leaving, and then you have to re-pull the stream on the app you're going to.
Yes.
So you're missing stuff. So it's a very uncomfortable experience. But if you're staying inside one or the other, it's a much smoother experience. So what?
Breaking news out of politics.
Oh boy.
How about this story? Jake Sherman from NBC News is reporting George Santos. You remember George Santos, the
liar?
The liar from New York, the Republican GOP congressman. George Santos tells House Republicans he will recuse himself from all committee assignments. Just did that in a closed GOP meeting because there's a lot of people who believe that George Santos is on the verge of being indicted for financial improprieties related to his campaign. Did you hear that? So George Santos had a bunch of massive donors on his campaign.
Right.
And one of the things people have been doing is going back and fact-checking those donors. And some of his largest donors are not real. They're fake people. They just don't exist. Like, he would say, okay, well, Kevin Smith, who lives in Poughkeepsie, New York, gave me the maximum donation. He'd, fill out the disclosure forms and whatnot. So people have been going to Poughkeepsie and looking for Kevin Smith.
Yeah.
No birth certificates, nobody at the address listed, the signature's fake, no voter registration cards. Can't find these people. How about that, dude?
Yeah.
It's starting to unwind for him now. You knew it was only a matter of time.
Yep.
You knew it was only a matter of time before Santos' gig was up.
There's somebody that lies their way to the top, dude.
Absolutely.
There's always somebody.
The Big Mugamba.
The Big Mugamba.
Says waffles made with Kodiak cake and buttermilk. Oh, my God. Real maple syrup and butter on top.
Oh, my God. Just like that. Oh.
Dude, I am such a carb addict.
Oh, yeah.
I love. Dude, breakfast. See, the problem is, it depends on what you make for breakfast, but I could be convinced. Pancakes or waffles?
Pancakes.
Pancakes or French toast?
Pancakes.
You're dumb.
Good, fluffy, large pancakes are unbeatable.
Mrs. Monty would, when she was still in love with me anyway, she would make me pumpkin Kodiak pancakes.
Don't play intramurals, brother.
Dude.
Right.
So good. So now she's reverted to making me banana muffins with Kodiak pancake mix. The lady is a god because they're so good. They're so good. And the funny thing is, a couple of weeks ago, she made pumpkin muffins and she put these pumpkin seeds on top of them. Oh. Dude.
Yes.
No, they were awful.
Oh.
They tasted good.
So it went like that.
No, they tasted really good. Exactly right. They tasted good, but they tore her up. And we all know that women don't poop or fart, right? They don't. We all know that already.
Yeah.
We all know that.
The fuck?
Yeah, no females be doing that. Come on now.
Women do not burp, fart, poop, none of that. Nothing. Yeah. Pristine.
She took offense.
Pristine. And dude, that stuff tore her up. I felt so bad. But then so she got smart and started making me banana muffins. Oh my God, they're so good. And so now I guilt her into it. I'm like, hey, I'll be like, hey, do we have any pancake mix? So the other day she's like, I'll make you more muffins. It's no problem.
Muffins.
So we go to Harmon's at the district to get bananas, and they have these little winky pinky bananas that don't even look that good.
Wow.
They're like a banana shortage or something.
Can you measure it?
It's fine. Wait. Greg Hawkins says, I love when people misquote me. I didn't misquote. Did I misquote you?
No, he's talking about Kurt. What did Kurt say?
I don't know. Oh, he says, thank you. Thanks for your comments, Kurt. I love when people misquote me.
Okay, well, what did Kurt say?
I don't know. The $100 million a year research grant thing, which I don't believe is true, by the way, but it's fine. Waffles are just pancakes with syrup cups built in. See,
yeah, but again,
I don't disagree.
Dude, okay, if we're gonna get in, let's just have it out then. If we're gonna get into this, like you not all waffles, French toast. What does that say? Bro, waffles and French toast is the 23 to the Rudy Gay of pancakes. That's such a casual take. Oh my God. Bro, come on, dude. Come on.
Oh, I love it, dude.
No, that's pretty good.
They're casual.
No, but for real, good, fluffy, well-done pancakes. Come on, man. Those are tough to beat.
Oh my God. Ron Nolan says Santos loves ketchup on his pancakes. He's also probably a blue cheese eater. Mrs. Monty says we can have pancakes anytime you want. Telling you, man. I'm telling you, it's so good.
Blueberry pancakes. Let's go.
No, God. See, you were doing so well not making an ass of yourself.
Now you don't like blueberries?
No, I want banana. Violence.
No, I want banana pancakes.
Banana pancakes are
banana
amazing.
Pancakes.
My wife is, yeah. Dude, her pancakes are amazing.
Yeah.
I'm going home and making eggs and pork chops for lunch. I've decided that. Jeremy Bolton says, I bet Rudy Gay puts blue cheese on his French toast.
Dude.
Blue cheese on French toast. Teddy Wayman. Yeah, see, he's a good man.
No,
he's
Teddy,
a good man.
Come on.
Teddy Wayman is a good red-bearded, frozen interior American. Waffles all the way. Damn right.
Garbage.
Damn right. Brett Robbins says we need a poll.
Yeah,
no, we
thank
don't.
you. Let's
no,
go.
we
Pull
don't.
up. Pull
no.
up.
Eric and Raleigh says the Monty Pancake Breakfast fundraiser. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Ken Williams says, I sent it to you, Jake, why I canceled Hulu.
Okay, let's see here.
Okay. No, we don't need a poll at all. Lopes Fan Gabe says, is bologna just hot dog pancakes? Dude, I'm a liverwurst bologna eating. My wife is disgusted that I like liverwurst. And I do. What happened?
Nothing. Just, yeah. We don't need to talk about why Ken canceled Hulu.
Okay.
It's all good.
All right.
It's all good.
Okay. Jeremy Bolton says, or Lopes Fan Gabe says, Jeremy, it's blue cheese on his crepes. Thank you very much. Crepes. Anton says, have you guys watched the Wolves lately? The Wolves. You mean the T-Wolves? Yeah, I watch all the time. Would love to see Ant Edwards in the All-Star game, but his guard position is too stacked in the West, I'm afraid. Yeah, I don't think he's going to make it. Those reserves come out Thursday, by the way.
Yeah.
Did you see that he eats those horrendous... Ugh. Anthony Edwards says he eats 21 bags of those like super hot Cheeto things.
Yeah. No, I'm good.
That's gross. Gross. Can't do that. Teddy Wayman says, dinner crepes are the bomb any time of day. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. We were in Boise last time we were up there with the Grizzlies, and they had like a little fair in the downtown area, and there was a dude that was making custom crepes.
Bomb.
Dude.
Ham, egg, and cheese crepe. Let's go.
Dude, so good. James Knight says fat. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Anton says, yeah, I saw that video as well. Eric and Raleigh says Wolves Eastern Conference champs.
Eric, be better.
Oh my God. Yes, indictments are expected on oh wow. Yeah, George Santos is in trouble, bro.
Good.
He's in trouble. He is in big time
I hope he
trouble.
goes away, dude.
Yeah, we'll see. Anyway, all right, non-sports stories of the day.
Yeah.
Where do we want to go here? Let's talk Krispy Kreme since we're on food.
Okay.
Why did Krispy Kreme do this to me? Like, I'm a nice guy generally, right? I like, you would agree you probably wouldn't agree, but most people would agree I'm a nice guy.
Right.
And so all of this hate that Krispy Kreme is spewing at me, they have come out with Biscoff donuts.
Yeah.
And I take it personally.
So the headline reads, Krispy Kreme's 23 Lotus Biscoff donut flavors.
Why?
This line of 3 unique cookie-infused donuts combines everything you love in a donut, parentheses, pillowy soft brioche and oozing gooey glaze, with everything you love about Biscoffs, that crumbly bite and rich caramelly taste. The 3 new donuts come in the following flavors. Number 1, Biscoff Iced Donut. For the traditionalist, this donut keeps it simple and elegant. The base is an original glazed donut dipped in a Biscoff cookie butter icing for an extra special touch.
A Biscoff cookie butter icing?
If you love a maple donut, me, you're sure to love this new limited edition flavor. So that's just number 1, right? Let's get to number 2 here.
Dude.
Let's see. Number 2. Biscoff cookie butter cheesecake donut.
Oh my God.
To kick it up a notch, this flavor features an original glazed donut dipped in Biscoff cookie butter icing, then topped with a sweet cream. This ad is blocking me right now. I hate you. Yeah, this ad is totally blocking what I'm trying to read. But basically, it's covered in a cheesecake frosting with sprinkles, and it's pretty good. Yeah. Okay.
Dude,
wow.
that sounds so good.
Wow.
What?
Wow.
Can I have a moment, please?
Yeah, in the bathroom.
Oh my God, just like that.
Dude, if that does not sound good to you, you are broken.
Right.
If that does not excite you, if it didn't move a little bit while he was not reading that
Well,
correctly.
speaking of it moving, why don't we get to the cream-filled donut? Because that's obviously the headliner, right? So the Biscoff cookie butter cream-filled donut. Do you have an insatiable sweet tooth? Do you eat cookie butter by the spoonful?
Yes.
Then this donut is for you. It features a shell donut filled with Biscoff cookie butter cream, Biscoff cookie butter icing, a swirl of dark chocolate icing, and a dusting of Biscoff crumble.
Oh my God.
And by the way, when can you get these donuts? Now until until the end of the month. So, yeah, go and get them. Go and get them, bro. Go and get them.
James Knight, are you hungry, Monty? Yes. Ken Williams says, go to a locally owned donut shop. That's so much better they are. I will tell you, I don't eat donuts. They're terrible for you. One of the worst things you can eat. But when I do eat donuts, Harmon's is not a bad option.
Dilly.
I've gotten into the blueberry cake donut.
Yeah. Yes.
Bro.
Yes.
Okay, what's your favorite donut? Oh, maple bar, bro.
Nah, traditional, bro. An old fashioned donut.
Cake donut.
Yeah. Old fashioned cake donut, bro. That's my jam. All day.
I think I am a blueberry donut. I like iced blueberry donuts. There's few things I enjoy more than those little like donut holes.
Yeah. Blueberry.
Maple bars are not
donut
good.
holes.
I mean, they're so good. Like,
yeah, bro. I mean, you just Google search, blueberry donut holes. How do you not like donut holes?
Oh my God.
Like, how does that? Come on,
dude, they're so good. And this is the thing about like the cookie game. Like crumble cookies are so good. Like I am a huge fan of sweets, and that's why I can't do it. I don't do it. Like I can't.
Well, you remember when one of our viewers sent you randomly crumble cookie that one day?
Yeah, people have sent me a dozen donuts from Starlight Donuts, I think it was called.
Yeah.
Somebody twice has sent crumble cookies to my front door. Like it's crazy, but I can't do it. I just can't do it. What's happening with your phone?
Tanner is messaging us about a video that he said he was going to make or whatever.
Okay.
So apparently he's made that video and he's going to send it to us today.
About what?
For his school assignment.
Tanner Plummer.
Yeah. Yeah. And I remember this. A couple weeks ago he asked, and I said, you need to run it by us before you just roll it out into the public because I need to see what we're working with.
What is he doing?
I don't know exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have no idea what this is about. Let's see. Donnie Guzman says, Monty, you want more cookies? It got you. This week is fire. No. I love cookies, and I don't. Donut Star and Draper is the best. Stop it.
See,
San Diego
and
State
Teddy
says
has a history of good recommendations too.
apple fritters when I am weak. Oh my God.
Yes.
I actually think that I have converted Mrs. Monty into a fan of apple fritters because I'm a huge apple fritter guy. Do you guys remember Bear Claws?
Yeah.
Oh, I love Bear Claws. I love Bear Claws. Oh my God. Oh my God. Joshua says, I agree with Donut Star. Their cronut game is changing.
Maybe we need to go there. Can we like go there? What do you think?
Cronut. Oh my God. A cronut. Jeremy Bolton says Rudy Gage chooses broccoli instead of donuts.
Well.
Yeah. Louis Capazzo, maple covered buttermilk bars from Lynn's Marketplace.
Dude.
Stop.
Chill out, dude.
Man. Harmon's donut game is strong.
Yeah.
I haven't been to a local donut shop in
years.
I can't think of the last time I went. We went, didn't we go? I feel like we went at some point.
We got some pastries and donuts from that deli in LA.
Yes, we did. That's correct. Do honey buns count as donut? Yes. Yes.
I mean, but honey buns are like fast food donuts, aren't they? Like, isn't that like?
You know, if we're doing fast food donuts, I'm telling you, Dunford Donuts, they're double chocolate Dunford Donuts.
Yeah, I don't think that I'm counting honey buns as a donut, bro.
Why?
Because that's like
that's
fast
like a
food
cinnamon
donut.
roll.
Yeah, but like it's more cinnamon rolly than donut. Like,
okay.
You know
so
what
is
I mean?
an apple fritter a donut?
Yeah, I mean that you would find an apple fritter in any donut case at any local.
Okay, Dick, you would find a cinnamon roll in any local donut shop.
Yeah,
You're
but like
such a hater.
but a honey bun is like fast food. It's like prepackaged. Like I'm talking about like donut case.
Jeremy Bolton says, "Come on, tell me someone else here has been to Banbury Donuts. Never heard of it." John Jackson, I'm always looking for great donut places. Toasties Donut in Kaysville is pretty good. Will Smith, the late great Will Smith, my former radio partner, used to bring us donuts. They're good. Kurt Meyer says, Tanner, where do we go to watch your production? John Jackson says, there's always room for a donut, even when you're full. Yes.
Damn right.
Ryan P. says, Astro Donuts and Fried Chicken in D.C. has creme brulee donuts.
Bro, you chill out now.
Creme brulee donuts? Oh, my God. Mrs. Monty has converted me to a creme brulee guy.
You are not.
Oh, I love creme brulee. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I mean, they're good. Hit the like button, casuals. Appreciate you. Teddy Wayman says, dude, try it. You'll hate me for it. I will. Hey, I will try it. I will try it. Yeah. I don't get mad when the apple filling drips on my shirt when biting into a bear claw. Oh, my God.
What, bro?
Glenn, stop it.
Oh, my God, just like that. Oh.
Sounds, there's something about like those Danishes at Costco that I've never tried.
Yeah.
They have fruit-topped Danishes. See, Mrs. Monty won't let me.
Please.
And I appreciate that. She will not be having that. We didn't even have apple pie over the holidays.
No, we didn't, because she wouldn't allow it. She said we can't. She said the apple pie was too much and we're fat.
God damn. She did. She calls me fat every day, though.
Right.
You can count on nearly every show devolving into food talk, Joshua says.
That's right, yeah.
I mean, we deliver on our...
By the way, who's going to be the newest member today? Come on. It's been a minute.
Yeah,
I need a member. Come on.
Yeah, we need to play the jingle.
Yeah.
There's a link to join. Eric C. says, if donuts aren't handmade from scratch, get out of my face.
Well.
Banbury Cross Donuts, Jeremy Bolton says. Drosad says, raspberry and blueberry fritters are amazing. Raspberry fritters. I'm a sucker for raspberry anything. Like raspberry jam. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Raspberry jam on toast.
I know what time it is.
That diner up in Immigration Canyon, Ruth's has a jar of just raspberry orgasm.
Bomb.
Oh, my God, it is so good. Dallin Sproul, hello, Dallin. Me jumping on the show 2 hours late and saying this is clickbait, laughing because of yesterday's comment. Yeah, right. Exactly right. Exactly right.
And you notice how Buddy's not in here every day.
No, just
he'll come in
occasionally.
here like 2 days a week and be like, oh, it's clickbait.
Yeah, exactly. Alan Corbin, this will be a hot take, but donuts suck. Get some colashes. What's a cola? Now I got to Google search that. Am I not refined? I don't know what a Kalashnikov. Oh, yes.
Instantly agrees.
Yes. Yeah, I am here for that.
Yeah, that's what you like. I'm not as big on that.
It's essentially a fruit-filled Danish, fruit-top. Dude, I'm telling you,
You're
apple
a big
Danish
guy.
Apple Danish is, again, it moves. Like you see a picture of it. Don't blame me. Don't blame me, dude. Like I'm telling you now, and I should not even put this up because somebody's stopping at Maverick to get a donut. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. Actually, Holiday or Maverick for donuts?
Ooh, that's a heater right there.
Ooh, oh, look at those.
We're okay. Real quick, because now you've opened the floodgates here. Where are we at? Holiday or Maverick? Because I gotta say it's damn close for me.
I'm a Maverick guy. Holiday.
The nice holidays are pretty damn good.
There's a nice one in South Jordan on 114th.
Yes.
That I like a lot. There's one right here. Isn't that a new one on 35th? Right here by the Mav?
I think.
By Maverick Center?
I think.
I mean, I'm a Maverick guy. I think.
Whoa, Amber Spencer's in the chat. Whoa.
She's like Maverick all day. Hi, guys. Hi, Amber.
Hello.
Ryan P. says Wawa. Wawa's good. Dalen says is it pronounced Kolash? Amber's
I think it's Kolash.
Amber's the baking expert. Amber actually is a professional baker.
Me?
She makes cakes and
I'm pretty sure it's Kolash.
A Kolash.
Yeah.
Flavor that is sausage and gravy. Oh my God, dude! Like I cannot. This is a. Kurt Meyer says Amber. Good morning. Good morning.
Wow.
I can hear it in his voice. Like he holds the good morning.
It's real low. It's real low.
Amber. Good morning. Anyway, I'll bring you some macaroons filled with jam. Watch out. Oh, my God.
Can you at least provide me one old-fashioned donut, please? Just one. Just one.
Oh, my God.
Like, I don't get to have donuts very often.
Dude, macaroons with... Oh, my God. Dude. Why did you want to... You're an idiot. You're never picking topics again.
You're an idiot, says daily on the show.
I'm the one who picked this topic, by the way. Jeremy Bolton says, well, see you later. Workout and eating good today. Thanks.
Oh, yeah. Let's go cold shower.
Oh, my God. And you know what? I didn't bring food to eat today. And now I'm like, I'm about it.
Yeah.
I'm about it. Teddy Wayman says, sup, Amber. Stop it. Grow up.
Yeah.
Old fashioned is the best ever, Jake. Old fashioned donuts are good.
Yeah.
Not the best ever.
They're my favorite.
Dallin says in the Czech Republic where it is from, it's pronounced kolak. Colon? In America, it's pronounced kolashi. Why?
You brought up the colon.
Why? Lopes fan Gabe says, give me a Kringle all day long. You ain't wrong. Kurt Meyer says, that's me. Amber Spencer says, oh my gosh, you guys. Exactly. James Knight says, straight up hot jam jelly filled donuts will do me.
It's internal.
Dude. You ain't wrong. Ken Williams says, LOL. Dallin says, CH like cheetah. Colon? Jeremy Bolton says, we haven't heard the vacuum drop in a long, long time. Dude. My Roto-Rooter is,
Oh, man, dude.
That's coming in April. Jaron Eccles says, Amber by 311 is a great song. Amber is the color of your energy.
Oh.
Yeah, that's the name of that song. All right, cool, bro. I guess that's it. By the way, did you see they also opened a new Wendy's on 35th?
Yeah, nice Wendy's too. Haven't been there, but driving by.
Tell you, West Valley's putting some money down, dude. Like there is some redevelopment here.
Yes, you did.
Big time.
Yes, you did.
Although yesterday was kind of crazy. We rolled up to the Mav yesterday morning. We get here at I don't know.
It's about 4:48 every day.
Every day.
Yeah.
And there was some major crime scene over here. It was like a fire truck and an ambulance, so somebody was probably dying. We shouldn't make light of it, but it happens. I've never seen that before.
Yeah.
And I saw a couple people asking about the cats. I have no idea what's going on with the cats now. I haven't seen the cats in a week.
Well, they spit the babies out and then they're just chilling.
Maybe, yeah, maybe. I mean, they could be on the teat. I don't know, and maybe that's a silent activity. I can't tell. I think they were having babies.
Maybe they're just on the teat.
Yeah, the teat. I
don't know what you're talking about. All right.
No, I seriously, you guys, I seriously have a colonoscopy scheduled in April. Because UHealth can't get me in until like 1988.
I think that's HIPAA.
Comes back around.
Right.
Right. So, yeah, I'm not looking forward to it. But
just so you can go to Pound Town.
As it was. Eric and Raleigh says, Jake, say Baker's dozen.
Baker's dozen.
Okay. Great showgram today, Monty. Great showgram today, Monty.
Monty.
Appreciate you.
Program.
Amber says, bye, casuals. Well, you just have been here 5 minutes. You
just dropped in. Like, what, you think you can roll in and then leave?
Roll out?
Like,
yeah, that's stupid.
Can we smoke a cigarette at least? Jared Eccles says they did a giveaway for the first 100 people at the Wendy's grand opening, free food for a year. Is that a true story, Jared Eccles? And you didn't tell me?
How do you not give us that information?
How are you not holding out on the fat man? What are you doing, man? What are you doing? Ken Williams is like, oh my God, free food in Utah. Oh, it's a riot every single time.
Yep.
It's a riot every single time. Instead of saying goodbye, Jake, say Baker's dozen, Jake. See what he?
No, the goodbye, Jake is a signature move on the show. That's like a thing.
Are we going to talk about no recessions, or are we just going to leave? Amber can do whatever the hell she wants. She can. She owns this place, and she makes great graphics.
What now? Let me tell you what now.
Yeah, and if you guys hate the merch, it's Amber's fault, by the way.
Yeah. No pressure, Amber. Don't screw it up.
I asked for a circle. She made a rectangle.
Apologize to that man.
You hate it. That's up to you. No. It's never my fault. It's never my fault. Ever.
Oh, man, dude.
Amber says, thanks, Jeremy. Exactly right. The fine print for free food is lame AF. Always read the fine print.
Okay, what does it say?
It probably says you can only come in once a week, and here's enough money to get you 52 Dave's doubles for a year.
She took offense.
Right? Better burger than Dave's double. Go.
Habit.
I see, like, you don't give me anywhere to go because
How about that?
the stupidity and the things you say. Better burger than Dave's double. Oh, the Habit. There's not a better burger at Habit than a Dave's double.
Please, the double char is bomb. Get the hell out of here.
Man.
Hell out of here with that.
You guys.
You know what the problem with Wendy's is? I roll through Wendy's, and half the time I don't know if Buddy just came back in from smoking his cig. So, like, I can't
okay,
trust
but that
Wendy's.
doesn't mean the burger is not better than Habit. That just means they hire groins.
What it means...
And by the way...
Look, Travis Kelce, just because they hired jabronis, doesn't mean that the burger sucks, okay?
But by the way, I don't eat at Wendy's anymore because of the quality of person they hired for the district store.
Know your role and shut your mouth.
Homie was out back smoking a cancer stick.
Burrowhead Stadium.
And so he's out back, seriously. And he is knocking it down. He's like just, wow. I mean, courting death. We pull up and he's like, hey. And then he walks immediately inside and he's like, welcome to Wendy's. Go ahead and I'll take your order. Go ahead, take your order. Like, hello? You think he washed his hands? Hell no. You think he made our food? Probably. Like, I can't do that anymore.
No.
I can't do it.
So that's why I say you walk into the Habit, you're good.
I messed with the guy at Habit the other night so bad.
So uncomfortable, bro.
But he laughed.
Why do you like doing that? Why do you like doing that to
because
the checker at the grocery store?
Because they're in service and they have a hard job. So if I can make them smile, which he did, he thought it was funny. Like that's all it is. Like the a-holes at Chipotle. Okay? Like Chipotle. Oh, it's burrito season, bro.
Yeah, foil up.
Chipotle, which is already stupid expensive.
It really is.
Like, oh, we're hiring 16,000 new workers. Oh, shit. Or I think they said 15,000 new workers.
What are you, the IRS?
We're hiring 15,000 new workers for burrito season. Apply online at thisjobsucks.com. And we'll pay you $16 an hour, and you can have all of the stale guacamole when it's brown at Chipotle.com.
That really annoys me when they're serving dark, older guac.
You know what annoys me? Dude, it's Chipotle.
So?
You're charging me $879 for a scoop of frickin' cheese sauce and stuff. What is that stuff called?
Queso.
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 So you're charging me $879 for queso, and it's covered hard and moldy stuff on.
Sorry if you're offended by
mix
that.
up the phlegm on top there, kid. I don't need to. I know that you're a Chipotle disciple. Oh, Chipotle? Bro, I could get the best chicken burrito ever there.
Yeah.
You're a Chipotle. I am hardcore a Cafe Rio guy.
Yeah, but you always feel like crap after Cafe Rio.
Well, that's because they use too much oil.
Okay, so that means naturally you're a Chipotle guy.
No. What that means is I don't eat at Cafe Rio. I go to Chipotle because you and Mrs. Monty prefer Chipotle.
Right.
But I'm telling you, Chipotle sucks. I'm telling you now. I'm not doing it. The freaking queso cheese and how do you not have fajita vegetables in the pan? Jackwagon. It's not difficult. You have tongs, you have a pan, you offer fajita vegetables. I don't know. Put Sally over there on the grinder vegetable chopper thing and let's get it done. Instead, you have 3 onion shavings in the bottom of a pan. Okay, well, that's double the portion anyway. Hey, can I get more? Yeah, I guess. No, I want more. Can I get fresh vegetables? No. You have no veggies in there. I hate Chipotle. I hate Chipotle. Now, having said that, it moves it through the system, and the end product, it's nice to turn around and see it. It's good. Fine. Anyway, stop. Stop it. No. The answer is no.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, what happened to the comment section here? Let's see. San Diego State says Amber is bearing pastry gifts. She's all right. Exactly right. Exactly right. Like it, Kurt. Yeah, everybody likes Amber. I agree. In-N-Out is not a better. Lewis, no. Carl's Jr., no.
No, Carl's Jr. went out of business at the district because they were so bad.
Brett Robbins says 5 Guys. Jaron Eccles says the small print literally says 1 free sandwich a week, and that's not enough. If you don't want it, just let me know.
Yeah.
Let me know. I'll be there, man. Trust me. I'll take it.
Oh.
What?
We've got a new member.
We do. What?
Look
Where?
at the little green bubble at the top. See how it says member?
Oh, yeah. Okay. Someone Lot. Hey, what's up? Let's go. Let's go. How about my guy Sam Lott joining the program?
Let's go. Right at the end. See? You guys coming through. Now we've had a good show.
Let's go. Sam, make sure you DM Jake, SLC Jake. I almost get it wrong every time. Lewis says, there's the newest member. That's right.
Let's go.
Lopes Fan Gabe says, let's go. Alan Corbin says, Utah needs a Whataburger.
I'm not
Yes,
a
it does.
Whataburger guy,
Yes,
dude.
it does. Sam Lot says, I'm here, fellas. Let's go.
Let's
go.
Let's go.
Ryan P says the worst part of the fart sound is hearing the echo off the toilet.
Dude, I know.
Got to take a trip to the 4th floor, man.
Dude, it is such a good part of that drop. It's one of my favorites.
I'm convinced we're going to hell if there is a hell, which I don't think there is, but I'm hoping there's not because I'm not playing.
The fact that you heard the echo off the toilet bowl on that is amazing.
Yeah. Hey, look at that. Cactus Jack is coming to Salt Lake City, man.
Okay, is this a problem? Just 2 seconds here.
What?
This is the same guy, Travis Scott.
Yeah.
This is the same guy that had that whole concert controversy. You guys remember
concert
that?
Controversy? People died. What do you mean concert controversy?
People will die. You remember that? You guys remember all that?
How do you feel about that? And I'm going to put the tweet up here. Do you guys care that Ryan Smith is openly courting Travis Scott to come to the NBA All-Star Game? Do you guys care about this? Because Ryan Smith, the owner of the Jazz, just tweeted a screenshot of he and Travis Scott talking.
Mm-hmm.
And here it is right here. Here's a tweet. And so the question is, do you guys care that he's doing that? I don't know. At what point do you get over it?
Well,
I mean, people died at his concert.
Yeah, I mean, I'm over it as far as like not listening to his music. I mean, I'm good. Like, it's cool.
So do you listen to his music?
Yeah, from time to time. He's not my favorite, but from time to time, yeah.
I think
I think that I guess maybe I'm not as over it as I thought, because that was the first thing I thought about when I saw him. You know what I mean? And I'm not even trying to hate. Like, I'm not trying to hate on the guy at all. Like, I'm just simply asking, does it matter?
Yeah. Kurt Meyer says, wait, this isn't hell? Yeah, it is. Yeah, that's why you're watching the show.
I'm screwed.
That sound is what happens when you eat at Chipotle. Don't disagree. Scammer Trolling says this show is a parody bit. What does that mean? What does that mean? Brett Robbins says, sweet Mick Foley's going to wrestle. Exactly. Someone Lot says, I don't like what he did at the concert. It's messed up, but can't deny his talent, and he will bring a crowd. He will.
Yeah.
Ryan Smith is going over the top on the All-Star game, which I love.
Which he should.
I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. Make sure you hit thumbs up. Give us a like if you are watching the program, which is now the Showgram. That's the newest way we call the show, the Showgram. So make sure you give us a like. Thanks for everybody watching. Thank you, Sam Wanlot, for being here. Can I call you Sam?
Please DM me on Instagram.
Yeah,
please.
DM Jake Sam to get into the Instagram members only group. Love you guys. Appreciate you being here. Yeah, I don't know what we're talking about tomorrow yet. Something about food. There you go. Jake?
Yeah.
Until tomorrow. Say Baker's dozen, Jake.
Baker's dozen, Jake.